Morning, everybody. National Signing Day. We started the show earlier than usual because we have a bunch of kids committing. So we're just going to talk through the class. We're going to kind of comment on them as they put their NIL in. We already have several kids that have already returned their letters. We'll go through that. But basically, we're just going to hang out for a couple hours and celebrate a really good class and then see if there's any more craziness that gets to occur. Eric, what are the kind of big things you're looking for today to set the scene?
Well, I always focused on first principles, which are retention, making sure you don't lose anybody. Getting Myron Charles and Jamie French in early was good.
Yep.
But I felt once that they made it to that Kentucky game after visiting Georgia the week prior, or Florida the week prior, that was all locked up. That's what we've been reporting since that time, that Myron Charles was locked in. That's a tough thing to say about Myron. It's been a little flaky. So it took some stones to say that, but I believed it. That's what I heard. I heard whatever school he went to following that Florida visit, there was a chance he was going to go back to Florida, would be the school that he would sign with, and it was Texas. So he was there for the Kentucky game. And then Jamie French, man, it was a little worried just because of all the, at-home advantages that Florida had, not just with proximity to him, but some of his teammates, 7-on-7 teammates, high school teammates. So that was worth checking on. But like we'd been saying, it was like Ryan Wingo, where he was committing for the right reasons. Very similar to that recruitment. Felt like he had a very strong bond with Chris Jackson. Really, I don't think I've ever seen two recruitments as similar to those two. And you know what? Hopefully Chris Jackson is looking for his next Ryan Wingo and Jamie French right now, because whatever he's got going on there works.
Yeah. Is any of us going to AT? I know Joe will be there, but are you going, Eric?
I turned it down, man. Actually, Andre the lawyer invited me again. Yeah. But no, I'm gonna stay home and cook. I traveled a whole lot this fall, and I'll probably go to hopefully I go to a few playoff games. So
that's true.
I talked to a couple of donors that aren't even going just because they want to go to the playoff games more so than the SEC game. But I'll be there in spirit. I'm going to be cooking all day and watching it. Can't wait for that game.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, it is.
It's such a crazy week, dude. Having to do signing day in the middle of preparing for Georgia. This schedule is bonkers, man.
Yeah, and we talked about it a month ago, where signing day was before the SEC championship game. We said, well, hopefully Sark has that as a selling point, and he's definitely used it subtly as a selling point this week. Yeah. But man, it's him and Kirby Smart have a lot more on their plate than the typical SEC coach.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah. Top class in America, right? So that's what everybody wants. No. Really, man, I could care less if it's number one in the ranking or not. It's about fit. But are they in striking distance right now? If some things turn their way, how are you feeling? I'm not going to make you commit to any flips. I'm not making you do that.
Charlie, what are you thinking here, bud?
Look, I say, they're definitely in striking distance, right? They're up to bat. They swing. They connect. They can definitely finish with the top class. That's how I'm feeling this morning. And so we shall see as these letters roll in, these fax machines. Well, it's not fax machines anymore, right? I'm a little old school with that, but as they roll in, man, we can see we're gaining ground, and we'll see what happens towards the end of the day. I know some kids are going to sign a little later. They're going to come in a little later, around 12 or 1, but I can't wait to see where Texas actually ends up.
They should get a boost from Michael Terry. Obviously, we expect Terry and Kellen Wiley to commit to Texas today. That helps. I think they have to land one of Fiduciary or Justice Terry. Ideally, Justice Terry. As far as winning the national recruiting championship, you want Justice Terry because that also hurts Georgia. Whereas Michael Fiduciary pulling him from Oklahoma, practically speaking, as far as rankings go, it's not as big of a shift. But as Homer said, the most important thing is that you fill needs in this class. Sark went about this class the right way. They go about what does the roster need first and foremost. That's how you address the class. But now once you're in striking distance, then it gets a little interesting because the marketing value is there. It's nice to have the number one class if you did other things right first.
Right.
But to truly be successful, they need to at least get one more very good defensive tackle going in. Only leaving this class with 2. As good as they are, as good as Sharma, we do think they'll hold on to Sharma and Charles are. They have to get the third. Really, they needed 4. So they have not. They've done a very poor job of meeting numbers in the last 2 cycles. Obviously, we can't blame Kenny Baker for the last couple of years, but man, they got to get more than 2. And they, like we talk about it, they're the hardest players to find.
Yeah, they're tough to get in the portal. High end on the portal. Oregon is in on Michael Terry. Is that old information. I thought it's us in Nebraska, right? Or the Oregon in a distant third, or is Oregon?
I haven't been hearing anything Oregon. I know it's out there, but I haven't been hearing anything about Oregon. Maybe Oregon's driving up the price. Who knows? Maybe Oregon didn't like Texas going after one of their guys late. I don't know, but I don't think I think it's Texas, Nebraska. I think it has been. He's got good relationships with both. Nebraska has been very aggressive throughout the fall. I think that's the number one reason why he didn't commit. But yeah, I think it's going to be Texas or Georgia or Texas. God, why is Georgia on my mind? Oh, I know why Georgia's on my mind. Yeah, I don't. Oregon would be a big surprise at this point.
Cool.
To the extent that there are surprises these days.
Yeah, and Michael Terry should be announcing at 8:15. So that's what we'll look for him.
Yeah.
And I think Elijah Barnes is announcing right now.
Yeah, he's supposed to go ahead and sign it at 7:30 this morning. So he should be at the school getting ready to do that. So it should be coming through here pretty soon.
Cool stuff. Let's pull up some Barnes tape real quick, and then we can kind of eval him. I was watching him last night.
Man, awesome senior year, right? This guy was doing it all over the field.
Man, he's both a traditional thumper and a modern linebacker that can run. You know, that guy would have been elite, you know, in the days of Chris Spielman and, you know, Mike Singletary, just with his size and ability to play in the box. But then he's got the ability to run sideline to sideline.
You know, I thought he most improved was anticipating and reading his keys, right? From his junior year to his senior year. Like, he really stepped it up as far as –
and this is junior year.
Okay, and so you can see it, like, maturation from junior to senior year. Just watching him play, it's like, man, this guy really gets it. He understands. Either he's been in the film room or he's really just dedicated himself to, you know, to scouting his opponent each week. But, man,
yeah, his diagnostics are the number one thing that stood out because you always knew he could run. Didn't he run like a 10.8 or something? Or 10.9? Something like that. You know, he can run, and he's a big ass kid. He's already 235 pounds.
Yeah.
Like, you know, when I was asking Charlie about him, you know, what do you think about him? Is he gonna gain weight, or is he gonna lose some baby fat? And Charlie said exactly what I wanted to hear. Probably lose a little bit of baby fat. He doesn't need to get any bigger. You know, 235 pounds is plenty. He can worry about getting 240 in the next league. But the fact that he can still run, he's diagnosing better. I think he's going to play a good amount as a true freshman, maybe not a good amount, but maybe like we've seen to Anthony Smith this year, because they need that heir apparent to Anthony Hill.
Yeah, and then something else you mentioned, Eric, about him adapting to the weight program offseason when he first gets to Texas. Like, he'll be able to adapt pretty quickly and attack that thing. And so I feel really good about his chances of playing early, just because he won't be a step behind when it comes to working out, lifting weights, and all the conditioning.
Yeah, he's going to be a fast responder to strength and conditioning. He's going to hit the ground running, improve diagnostics. In early enrollee has Anthony Hill to look up to in a number of different ways. Yeah, you know, including attacking the gym. Anthony Hill gets after it in the gym, and so this is you know, I like seeing it when a recruit just makes a good decision. I'm not saying he made a good decision because he picked the school that I cover or the school that I loved for so long. I'm saying it just because if you look at it from the outside, you can see that all right, the opportunity is going to be there after a year to groom under perhaps the best linebacker in the country. There's no better person to learn from, and Anthony does everything the right way. Like he's in the film room a lot. He's hitting the gym hard. He's an upstanding citizen. So I mean, it's just let Anthony just follow Anthony's footsteps, and you're going to be good.
Agreed.
You can see the running back reps that he got to. How's he in pass coverage? There's not a ton of it on the tape.
No, he's done excellent this year. He ended up getting like 2 interceptions, man. But they had him all over the field. He was rushing the passer, dropping, blitzing. He did it all this year. He was even blocking punts. Right, this guy did it all for Skyline this year, and so he laid it all on the line. And he's improved in pass coverage a ton, man. You see him running with guys. I saw him against Mesquite Horn, who has some speedy guys. When I saw him in person, man, he's running down the seam with a speedy receiver. I was like, okay, he can cover too. It's like, man, it's like the whole. There's a guy from Desert Pyramid, I can't think of his name, and he can pass. Like, this guy can do it all, right? He can cover, he can hit, he can blitz, and so he's just all around solid linebacker, man.
Did he finish? I think he finished as on three's number one linebacker in the country. I'm gonna have to look that up. I think so. Or I don't know. They'll probably do 5 more rankings before now in February, but
yeah. Did he grow up a Texas fan? Because he signed pretty early for us, didn't he?
I don't know. Well, he's got Peter Jenkins over there, so that probably doesn't hurt. And then Jeff Choate was on him early.
He was,
and I think that Johnny Nansen got left in a really good spot with Barnes and Riley Pettijohn, but we won't say anything there.
Yeah.
And I think that helped out a lot. But he's probably smart enough to see the opportunity here. Yeah, he's on three's number 1 linebacker in the country, on three's number 34 player in the country. So they view him as a borderline 5-star.
Yeah. And when Johnny Nansen first got here, man, he hit it off with him. Like, you can tell he was just a real guy who knew football. He was like, this is just a great fit for me, right? This is a great relationship. I can come here, I can learn, I can grow, I can be developed on and off the field. And so it was like a great fit total. Him and his family, they saw the big picture, right? So from the start, it was great. A great fit.
Yeah, I love it when it's like that. Oh, man, we got to enjoy this for a minute.
Oh,
they officially got it?
According to Tim Wysocki, and who am I to judge Tim Wysocki? Florida. So everybody in the world had been trying to work on Dallas Wilson, and he had stayed true to Oregon. Of course, Oregon is kind of their Faust in this whole bargain, where they buy people left and right whenever they want to. So it's nice to see them get a little taste of their own medicine.
Especially at the last second when you can't counter.
Let's get before I celebrate too hard, let's get everybody across. Now will Oregon go after Michael Terry even harder?
Yeah, that's
Now you have to look at that Michael Terry recruitment maybe just a little bit different, right? But obviously Michael Terry's not the same player as Wilson, but they've got an open spot now that they, I guess, weren't anticipating. But man, I'm not exactly going to pour one out for Florida here.
Yeah, and Terry's got. If they can get to him in 30 minutes, hopefully not. But that's going to be the trick. All right, let's talk about some other guys that we already have that sent the letter in. How about you guys want to talk Jamie French? Since we were talking our good friends at Florida, and their attempts there. So that was nice, right? No drama. We said on IT that hey, French is going to be fine, but for just send it in first thing in the morning, all good. I'll pull up his tape, and then if y'all can kind of holler about Jamie.
Yeah,
French.
those East Coast kids, real early if you're going to have drama because they're ahead of us time-wise. And so, I wrote an article saying those guys are good, and by the time I published it, both agreements have been signed and delivered. So, but yeah, we felt good about it. Again, it goes back to the strength of Chris Jackson's relationship with him, committing to Texas for the right reasons. When guys commit to a school for the right reasons, that there's a good chance of holding on as opposed to, look at that. Mm-hmm. Nate Marshall committed to Auburn because the position coach is from his area, and he never visited Auburn. Okay, I knew that guy was going to flip. I just didn't know where.
Yeah.
Look at it, man. Look, speaking of Jamie French's film here, I got to see this in person at the 707 OT7 tournament. He came to Dallas. I was like, this kid's just silky smooth, man. He understands spacing. With guys he doesn't play with a ton, he understood spacing with them. I can tell he has a high IQ of understanding running routes and stacking people, catching the ball late, showing his hands late. I was like, okay, he's just a baller. He's a gamer. And his after catch ability, I don't think it gets talked about enough. Like, he can catch the ball, make a couple people miss, and go to the house. He just I think he's going to be a baller.
His stop start is what's underrated. His stop start is why he might have a lot more playmaking than I think he's given credit for. He had a play earlier this season that was one of the most impressive things I'd seen. That one earlier in this clip looked like Peter Warwick with the stop start.
Oh.
He gets up to full speed very quickly, and then that was easy.
Yeah. Just solid hands too, man. Once it hits, it hits.
Yeah, and he's a bigger kid than he's listed as. He's going to be a well put together. He got good arm length, good body control, good hand-eye coordination. Just pretty much there's no hole in his game.
Just a pleasure to talk to, man. What a smart kid.
That kid's mature beyond his years, man. Like, just speaking to him, like, he's a professional already. Like, you think about receivers that think they're divas. Like, this guy, you can just tell, like, he's just a professional, man. The way he carries himself on and off the field. And so I love to see the maturity from a young guy like that.
Yeah. That's a good one.
Yeah, I'm super excited for him. I swear I watch his tape like once a month.
Yeah.
So I just like him too. Like I said, man, like on the mic and stuff, man, he talks like he's 25.
Yeah.
And his ability off the line and beat press is really good too. As you watch, I'm sure we'll see here, but that was easy release. But
he has some moves. He has some early moves.
He's pretty complete.
Yeah.
I got a lot of Justice Terry questions in here right now. Justice doesn't announce until Friday. I won't be making my final prediction on that one until Friday. obviously Georgia has to protect their home turf, and at the same time, Texas and Auburn have massive needs at D tackle. So that's nobody's going to know anything for sure on that one until maybe right before he announces. These are negotiations at this point, fellas. And I think if his heart's at Georgia, he's going to end up there because Georgia's probably not going to be able to afford to get beaten. But Texas won't lose it over negotiations. So, we'll see how it goes. If Texas loses Fasusi, they'll go harder after him.
That'll open up some cap.
Yeah, but there's nobody's going to know anything on Justice Terry today. I don't even think people will pretend to know anything on Justice Terry today.
Oh, they'll pretend to know.
That goes Friday. That'll go down Friday at 11 o'clock Central Time, I believe. But just know that Texas won't lose that one over lack of effort.
How close is a player like that to their ceiling where they look like a strong man in 8th grade? Like, does that worry you when they're that filled out as an 8th grader? Or are you just like, no, they're just genetic freaks and they're going to keep maximizing?
To me, honestly, you look at a kid like, let's just go Kendra Blackshaw, right? He looked like that in 8th grade, the way he looks now, right? So a lot of people worry about him being maxed out, but with Justin Terry, I don't think that's the case, man. Sometimes you look at the defensive end, Myles Garrett, like he was maxed out early too, right? But he's continued to be a baller. And I think that's going to be the same case with Justice Terry, man. He'll continue to get better. He'll continue to develop. You can't help you just kind of got the genetics and being built that way and just being a man child.
Yeah, and Blackshear was maxed. Blackshear was over maxed out. Blackshear's problem was he was maxed out to over the limits of that position. He's too big to play linebacker. Justice Terry is nowhere near being too big to play D tackle. I mean, that's Tavondre Sweat's not too big to play D tackle. But he's kind of like the kid. Who's the guy that went to? He is a man child like some of these guys. Rashawn Gary when he went to Michigan, Jadeveon Clowney. Like they just have this unheard of advantage on the high school level. Who was the guy that went to Ole Miss? God, he was a huge recruit.
And I can't pronounce his name. Start with an N, right?
Robert Kimdiche. Yeah,
Kimdiche,
yeah. He does have some of those advantages, but. Oh, wow. Brandon Harris showing out on Twitter. That's hopefully
we got some eye emojis.
That's probably Michael Terry. Although Brandon Harris, as well as anybody behind the scenes, knows that Terry had given pretty good indications long ago. But we'll see. What's the latest on Fasusi? We get that one a lot too. I think that's going to be OU. I have not really wavered on that one. Texas, again, it's kind of like Terry, where it's not lack of effort. They're going as hard on these guys as I think I've ever heard of Texas recruiting anybody in however long I've been doing this. So it won't be lack of effort. And there's a lot of strings they can pull on there with, I think that the new air raid system they're going to bring in, is that going to develop him perfectly for the NFL? I don't know about that. What's the job security of Brett Venables and Bill Biedenbaugh? That doesn't seem all that great.
Well, you bring in Arbuckle with stipulations. Hey, Arbuckle, you can come, but you have to keep half of the coaches.
Well, yeah, but that's only 1 year. Arbuckle doesn't get a stipulation from Castiglione that he'll be there next year.
Right. But I'm saying it's still weird to be like, hey, you're the hope, but we're not letting you make your hires. It's still a weird situation.
This is why people say relationships don't matter in recruiting anymore. But this is a good example that relationships certainly matter in recruiting because Fasusi and Biedenbaugh certainly have a connection there. That is tough to break. So I think he's going to stick with OU. But again, nothing would truly surprise me in this day and age.
Do you think Banks going down and Gooseby promptly coming in and playing really well was beneficial in that situation? Coach, what do you think?
Honestly, him seeing Trevor Gooseby up close and personal, man, probably like, okay, I got some competition. But I don't think it's a situation where he's afraid of competition. Just knows, hey, if he comes to Texas, he got to fight, right? He got to fight, and he got to do that.
There's a practical business. There's a practical thing here. If you're like, look, I can go to OU, I know the path there is easy. I can make more money easily. I can get tape easier. Right. It doesn't mean you're scared of competition. It means like sometimes these guys are more practical.
Exactly. It's a business decision at the end of the day. But I don't know if for me, I'm looking at that as, hey, this guy doesn't even play much, and he steps in for Kevin Banks. That means he's been developed behind the scenes. Like that's the way I take it. I think that each kid takes that and looks at that differently, because that's the way I would look at it. Like, man, okay, if I come here, if I don't play right away, I'm being developed. So when I do step in, I'm already gonna be considered being one of the top guys, right? Like Gooseby is. And so, but you just never know. I know he set the sign at 2 today at his school. Yeah. Man, just looking at his tape, man, he's a freaking athlete. I think he's nowhere near his ceiling where he can be. So, but we'll see what happens come 2 o'clock today.
Yeah, let's talk about what we know here, because that I don't want to break down. Oh, you guys. Cade Phillips is in. That was a fun flip. Saw that one coming from a little bit of ways away. Everybody lost hope when he didn't make it in for the Kentucky game, but there's always a workaround, man.
The latest, we got Grayson Littleton in also as well. That's gonna be fun.
Yeah, they went on a run of DBs. You got Caleb Chester in, Cade Phillips is in, Jonah Williams.
Let's break down Cade again. Let's talk Cade, and then we'll talk Jonah, because Jonah's super fun. Yeah. Jonah just is a freak, dude. He doesn't even, when you watch him, you don't even need to see him move. Just like look at the picture of the defense, and you're like, who is that guy, dude?
Hey, Charlie, what time did you say Zealous Hicks was supposed to be in? 1 o'clock?
1 p.m. 1 p.m. Eastern, so it'll be 12 our time.
Interesting. He's not in yet, apparently. Yeah, you like it when those East Coast guys get in early.
Yeah.
Yeah, Zealous is going to be interesting. The reclass is also kind of interesting there. All right, let's look at Cade, the corner now, baby.
Yeah, look, I've gotten to watch a little bit of his midseason senior film. Like, he really has stepped up to another level playing corner. I think, honestly, playing a little bit of receiver. Like, he has ball skills, cat-like reflexes. He has great makeup speed. If a guy happens to get behind him, like, he can go catch up. And so I love it. He's not looking to just knock the ball down. He's trying to intercept it. And then he'll come up and hit you, too. I think he does, as you see, he has great eyes, but he's not confused. Most guys, and we've seen it, right? They'll bite on the underneath route and leave the guy open behind him, but he recognizes route concepts. Very smart kid, man. Very sound technically. I love this. I love this pick for Texas.
Yeah, he's got elite measurables. The length and athleticism is just, it's rare. It's, could the guy end up being Sauce Gardner or something? I don't know, because when you see him listed at 6'1.5", that's not. I just don't see any way that's accurate. He's comfortably taller than me. I think he's at least 6'2", but he seems extremely long, kind of like Jamie French, like long arms, and just takes up a lot of space. That's kind of the name of this class, is they take up a lot of space with speed and length. He's got. I think there's still a little bit of developmental curve ahead of him, physically for sure. But you see how fast he comes downhill there.
I'm gonna say that you see why he got the safety eval very early, because he'll run the alley. He's not scared to hit. All that stuff's important too.
Definitely.
Yeah, but it comes down to athleticism, and he has athleticism for the island. So you'll see him in the boundary. Probably Grayson Littleton eventually will be in the field, and then I think Caleb Chester can still play corner, or maybe nickel. They would like a little bit of size at nickel, and Caleb Chester brings that. Janae Barron and Gilbo, I think they would like a little more length there. That's just, those guys are bulldogs no matter what. But Caleb Chester might be an ideal guy for nickel eventually.
Yeah. What was the situation with LSU? LSU just kind of went off the deep end season wise, and Cade said, "I'm gonna end up coming back," or what? How'd that kind of end up where it is?
Look, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, if you could take it if you want.
I was going to say, which one are you going
to take? That's a silly question in 2024 for somebody that reads Inside Texas and follows football.
Yeah, I'm asking for the fans.
They should be able to draw some logical conclusions on that one. But
yeah,
Texas kept recruiting them very hard. What else do you want to say? I think the season did help. The season did help. There was a lot of negativity out there, not just from Texas fans, which I try to educate them as best I could on these defensive back coaches, but there's a lot of negativity. All that negativity, just the rival coaches are going to use that too. Corey Raymond will say, "Look, Terry Joseph doesn't develop," and then it's nonsense. You can look and see Terry Joseph put a lot of guys in the NFL, and you can see development at Texas even before this year. But this year you can't say anything about it. Does Corey Raymond really want to open up the can of worms on who's developing better right now? I think not. And so I think the season definitely helped. It always helped that Cade liked Texas. There was he always liked Texas. His dad's a huge fan.
Yes.
So it all kind of came together for Texas. But there's a number of factors that have to come together these years and these days, and Texas put it all together.
What's up, LJ?
Report.
All right.
How's Jose Scott doing?
Let's see.
See, people don't even remember Jose Scott, man. What the hell?
Look at this. Yeah.
Well, we know who this guy is. Here comes Kyle Hamilton running down the field.
Dude, him middle of the field, when he gets an interception, he just turns it into a punt return, and it's crazy. Dude.
Unbelievable, man. Like, he's a game changer.
Yeah.
He's a game changer. He's a ball hog. He's a game changer. I know I was a little bit off. I just said he attacks the ball like Ed Reed. Like, he just reads and understands, man. He just has the size of Kyle Hamilton, but he's just like, he's generational to me. Like, there's nobody else.
Jonah Williams for the fans.
You can see the baseball skills come in too. You know, like there
he does look like a center. He looks like a center fielder. He doesn't look like an
exactly.
infielder.
Yeah, he's got the anticipation of an outfielder.
Yeah, he's
and he'll hit. You know, there was some negative stuff about him early on. You know, how physical was he? He's really answered all that. That's I think the guy's gonna basically you're gonna see like a 5.0 version of Michael Taft. I think he'll play the same position and really the same role. Part of it in center field, part of it coming downhill.
Yeah,
just a freak athlete. Once he gets the ball, it's a house.
Yeah. Seeing him in person at the Houston Under Armour camp, I was like, man, seeing this guy move. He played receiver and he was playing DB at that camp. I was like, he's out here covering little quick twitchy guys and staying with them and standing fades and getting his head around, picking the ball off. I was like, all right, yeah, he's an absolute stud, right? And then he followed that up with a great senior year, man. I think he started off the year when he'd have 3-4 touchdowns in the first game. And I was like, okay, best player in the nation, if you ask me.
I think he had 4 touchdowns, at least 4 touchdowns, and it all came in different ways. You know, our boy Deshae Milburn says he'd be an elite wide receiver. So when you put those ball hawking and the ability to track the ball, ability to make the play, convert the play, you can't be an elite receiver without good body control. You know, all those wide receiver traits. And you got some baseball traits coming in when it comes to coordination, hand-eye coordination, anticipation, and then you built like a very, very rare safety. I had a source that doesn't get really high on anybody. Oh yeah, Archman, he's pretty good. They came back absolutely raving about Jonah's upside. And so that's what we have to break down about this class. Which guys have the highest upside, and it's a very difficult task because you've got Lance Jackson is a guy that who knows what the ceiling is for him. There's a number of guys where you're like, okay, all they have to do is stay healthy, and they're going to be drafted in the first 3 rounds.
Yep. Yeah, I was doing all my defensive evals last night, man. I was getting more and more excited. They're impressive. How's Jordan doing on the injury?
Who? Jonah? It was just a collarbone or something. I don't know. It's not one of those that you really worry about.
The legs were good.
Yeah. All right, guys, we are $2 closer to getting Justice Terry.
Dude, that was make or break right there.
Yeah, Brett.
Appreciate it, Brett.
Thank you. Yeah, we're gonna cash app him here. Of course, like and subscribe, y'all. Hook 'em, baby. Jonah's gonna be fun, man. He's a man amongst boys right there. Galveston.
Let's do some Nick Townsend. Nick Townsend is in.
Oh man.
Of course, Eric wants to do Nick Townsend.
I got to do all my NFL guys.
Yeah. Let's hit Townsend though. I agree with you on Townsend 100%. Let's pull him up.
Yeah, Townsend. He's in that top 5. I wrote about the upside NFL upside of guys, and he's definitely in the top 5 of guys. I see like, man, he just gets it done. He can play either side, but you talk about a baller, just like Jonah. If you ask me, he's physical. He can catch. He can hit. Like I don't know what he can't do. Honestly, I love Nick Townsend.
He's just got to put it together. Technique and stuff. He's impossible to miss with that towel too.
That's true. That's very helpful.
Yeah, it is.
And this is junior year.
I was about to say this is junior year. He had like a 94-yard touchdown on a swing pass this year at a tight end at the 6A level.
Yeah.
Jonah sent in his letter. Jonah's in.
Yeah. Townsend's got a chance to play early. The tight end room has some questions. Going to lose Gunnar Helm. Going to lose Juan Davis.
Mm-hmm.
Here, I think he's about to be physical. Let me see. No, okay. I thought he was going to come down a block, but there's that towel again. Bye.
Yeah.
Ran 10.92 this year in track.
Did? Wow.
Yeah, 10.92, and you can tell that weight is off too. He told me that he's 230. He ran 10.92 at 235 pounds.
Man.
Wow, I did not know he ran under 11.
Yeah, he is a freak.
And the yak too, man.
Yes.
He's all about football. He's extremely football focused. He's done a lot of things that demonstrate that I don't necessarily want to go into that are above and beyond what I normally hear about a kid. A lot of people were worried about A&M because he went to the New Mexico. I don't even know if it was New Mexico or New Mexico State A&M played. I don't think it matters, but he, people were wondering what's he doing at A&M. He really wanted to go to the Texas A&M game, and the best way to get tickets was to show some interest in A&M.
Yeah.
So he was at that game to see Texas, and he made a big step to get to that game by going and sitting through a New Mexico or New Mexico State game. So that's how dedicated he is to Texas football. And I was shocked. I went to practice in August, and they had him playing off-ball linebacker, not just edge. So they had him. They do everything with him. He's a steady. You can play some wildcat quarterback.
I was just about to say that. Senior year, he lined up at running back and quarterback in addition to every other spot. So, like, you can tell he's just a total football player, but he's all about the team, bro. Whatever we can make the team better, however we can get better, however we can win. Like, that's what he's about, just a total ball player.
He's a match made in heaven with Jeff Banks, because every time I talked to him, he said, I'm looking at that closing speed. Every time I talked to him, he said he wanted to be coached hard. Well, Jeff Banks is going to give you what you want on that. It's just a match made in heaven. So I'm really, really excited about Nick Townsend.
Coached hard and coached loudly. How's he in the Gravedigger? How's as a blocker?
Now, he'll get in and mix it up. He's a physical kid. He doesn't mind mixing up his inline blocker or outside.
Yeah, he's all about football. He's physical. He's embracing the physical side of it. But part of blocking is technique, placement, and all. There's a lot of little nuance to it. He's going to have to learn all that. There's no doubt about that. He's, as you can see, they weren't spending a ton of time at Decaney teaching him how to block. He's playing all over the field.
He's scoring touchdowns, man.
Yeah, but
playing linebacker.
But he has the mindset for it, which is important.
He has the build for it too, man. Like, kind of stout enough, so he'll be good. Yeah, Texas, man, you got to block.
He's well built. It's going to be a big year, big off season for him, strength and conditioning wise. But he's going to be real good.
Yeah.
Hey guys, everybody's asking if everybody's signed. Go to our Twitter feed. If you're on YouTube, I assume you're on Twitter. Go to Inside Texas Twitter feed and just scroll, and you'll see all the guys that are in. There's articles that break them down. Charlie's been busting his ass on articles that are basically, you can get to know each player. So if you go scroll Inside Texas, you'll see all the guys that have signed their financial aid paperwork and are essentially done deals. Yeah. InsideTexas.com. And then, go sign up to the actual website.
Yep. Yeah, Nick Townsend, man, just look at his hands too, man. He's going to be an important one.
Yeah.
Ooh-wee.
You said about a number of guys, man, just like in this class that you can see their upside, their potential, and their ceiling is really, really, really high. Here he is, looking at a wildcat quarterback here.
Yeah, PK told him, like, hey, look, man, we think you're a tight end. We think you're an NFL tight end, all these things. But if for some reason tight end didn't work out, we'll flip you over to my side of the ball and you can come play for me. And that meant a lot to him because, he wants to play tight end, obviously. Jatavian Sanders was a huge attention getter for Texas. That's kind of, that, and I believe that's his best position as well. But he felt comfortable that if tight end didn't work out, he'd still ball out. So I think Texas did a good job selling him on that.
Yeah. Yeah. He's going to be a lot of fun. All right, we got a bunch of kids showing up. It's a fun day. But before we keep going, y'all, let's hear a word from David McClellan.
I'm just going to say, guys, you probably need a fiduciary financial advisor. And I've got the guy for you. His name is David McClellan with Forum Financial. He works broadly and deeply with his clients as a financial life coach. And he should know something about coaching because he won several national championships as a swimmer for the University of Texas. He specializes in financial planning and has contributed numerous articles to Kiplinger on the topic of retirement tax bombs. So contact David today to be your fiduciary financial planner and schedule a 1-hour consultation to assess your financial situations. The free consultation is available, so just give him a call. The number is 312-933-8823. That's 312-933-8823. His email is also in the description below.
All right, we just got Jonathan Cunningham in the boat as well.
There we go.
All right. If you want to talk high upside guys, Eric, you want to talk Lance Jackson?
Yeah, all my favorites. Let's do all my favorites while I'm on the show.
You're going to steal all the 5 stars for an hour or two. We're not going to have anybody.
Hey, that's why you gotta, if you watch the film, come to your own conclusions. You know when to be excited and when not to be excited. I was celebrating like a 5-star when he committed. Justin's the one that told me. He's like, "Hey, we're getting Lance Jackson." He said it, kind of relaxed. I'm like, "What? Are
Dude,
you kidding me?"
You know who he reminds me of? Braylon Trice out of Washington. There's like a mix of size and speed that I love, man.
Is
And
this
he's
what
him playing tight end, dude? He's like Townsend. If it doesn't work out at edge, come play tight end too. Like these guys are impressive, man.
Yeah, when I first, I usually put together a list of my 10 favorites going into a class, and I said I don't care what side of the ball they get Lance Jackson at. He's gotten so big now. I think he's like 275. That it's gonna be edge D line or whatever.
Yeah, he's already pro size. It's crazy.
Yeah,
he's ready to go.
His dad is like 6'10" and built like a 6'10" defensive end if those guys existed. So he's 6'10", but not like he's filled out, but not overly big or overly skinny. It's a crazy thing to see.
That is a trippy build for 6'10".
Look at that. Holy crap, man.
I wonder how his brother is, man. His brother went down in Arkansas. We need to get Justin or somebody to check on how his brother's doing. They had to cart him off.
I hope that's not good right before the draft. Jeez.
It was sad, man. Yeah.
Remember
Look at that in the slot, baby.
Yes, look at it.
Middle of the field, knows his coverages.
Off hands. Remember driving to Houston to the Under Armour camp, and Eric was there early, and he was watching him go through Jersey. Oh, yeah, he'll 5-star. That's it. It's solidified. It's done. And it's like, but everything he does on film, he does in person. Like, okay, this kid is that. And I got a chance to kind of just see him his senior year. Like, man, this kid does.
I love that.
Another guy that does it all, gets it done on both sides of the ball. Like, talk about just total ball players and athletes that this class has in totality, man. It's amazing to see. You can tell, like, these evals that the coaches have done are just amazing. Yeah,
that's what gets lost in the shuffle. People get hyped up about rankings and stuff, but when the mental eval matches the talent, it's over with. That's really when I feel I got a good idea when a guy's headed to the league or guaranteed to go to the league as long as he doesn't get hurt. And it's usually when they're, got this sort of talent, but then also the drive. Nick Townsend has the drive. Jonah has the drive. Lance has the drive. And then on top of it, they're all freaks. They're all big for their size, for their position. Nick might not be the tallest guy, but he's pretty well put together.
Yeah, man. Physical. He's tossing those kids around.
The question on Lance is, how big is his suit going to need to be on draft night? Is he still going to be at edge, or is he going to be 315 pounds? Hopefully they
he's already big for an NFL edge at like 275. I mean, he could be at like 260 there.
Yeah, I think they can keep him like a JJ Watt edge, because you don't move inside because of size. You move inside because of movement skills. And if he keeps his movement skills at 290 pounds, why move him? PK's done a lot. PK did a lot of damage at Washington with guys that were like 6'2", 280 at edge. So didn't even have his length, but had his size. It's just all about how you move.
Yeah, PK does like the big edge linebacker hybrid. Look how big he is at tight end. It's crazy. He's bigger than his offensive line. It's funny.
He's one of those guys, when we were at the On3 deal in Nashville, and there's 100 of the top guys in the nation, and some of them just stand out above everybody else. Like left tackle David Sanders, you're like, okay, get his suit for draft night ready. When Lance walked in, he had that same thing where people were like, what the hell's going on here?
Yeah. Well, and you have an older brother who's going first round. I mean, the pedigree's there. You talk about his dad at 6'10", but still athletic. That's impressive. Who else is your top line guys, Eric?
Let me see here.
That have signed.
Sharma and Charles, I think, are both NFL guys. They got to get Sharma signed. I think Sharma was way up the Texas D tackle board. Might have been the top guy. Not sure about that, but he was way up the board. Seen him in person. I think he's got an agent that likes to play a little bit of games and leverage. That's where I'm trying to figure out today is if that's what the USC stuff is about. We feel he's going to stick and sign. He's supposed to sign at 4:30 Central, I believe. Yeah, because he's out in California. Those two stand out. Both a while. Actually, one we should talk about that stands out that's not getting enough love, and Charlie's been all over this one, is Dalen McCutcheon.
Yeah, he just signed too.
Yeah,
all right, put his tape on. Do we have senior tape for him?
I don't know, but I can pull up senior if we need it.
Yeah, he posted not too long ago, so yeah.
Yeah, we have junior tape. I can pull up senior real quick. Let's watch junior for a second, and I'll pull up senior.
Yeah, we've talked about you know, a lot of people know Kalik Lockett and Jamie French, and we showed French earlier. This kid is very underrated.
Yeah.
Ideal slot. And, you know, when they lost DeCorian Moore, I said, this is the guy they need to go after, because I felt like they needed an all-around skill set to replace DeCorian Moore, you know, as opposed to getting a speed guy like Kelshawn Johnson or a guy that's more of a projection like Tanook Hines. I wanted an all-around guy with a high floor. And I guess they wanted the same thing, because that's what they got with Dalen.
I don't
Yeah,
have Dalen's huddle on. I don't have senior huddle for Dalen.
It's all right. Junior huddle's really good. He had like 94 receptions as a junior.
yeah, he did. Like Dalen can do it all, man. Like he can line up in the slot, line up outside. Adds value in the return game. Like he gets it. He can run routes. Like he'll get there and understand the route tree day one, right? Understand it. Coach Jackson won't have to teach him some of the small things, because he already knows it going into college. And so that kind of gives him a step ahead of some people, right? Stepping into the college level. But you see him, to me, he's a physical kid. I know he doesn't have the big build. And initially I compared him to Jay Witt or DeAndre Moore type of mold, but I think he probably can grow into that. You see him look at high point the ball, one hand, like he got great hands, gets his head around. Like he does a great job of understanding where he's at on the field at all times. I love this kid and his route running ability. He's super competitive too. I saw him at a camp Martin Hooks' trainer put on, and I went there and he was competing against, top guys, and he was just out there like, yo, I'm the better one. Let's get out here and race. Like I can show you I'm fast too. And so you see a guy like that, who you think receivers not divas or most divas, he's a competitor, man, and I love it.
Yeah, I've been it's a stylistic comp. I'm not saying he's going to be the next this guy, but Amon-Ra St. Brown is who he reminds me of.
How many one-handed catches can this dude make? He's made like 3 sick one-handed catches.
Yeah, I think he's kind of sliding into the class under the cover of darkness, like DeAndre Moore did. And, you know, fans still don't really, I think, realize how good DeAndre Moore is going to be at Texas. You know, next year I think he's going to blow up. I think Dalen McCutcheon's time is going to come too.
He's nice, man. I really like. I like his feet, man, off the line. Like he's technical,
very
technical, fast. He can stride. His hands are solid. Once it hits, and he nice over the shoulder if he's not doing an awesome one-handed catch. He's able to set up DBs there. He knows how to like work to the spot. Nice hands too. It gets low and he can still grab it.
Yeah, and one thing stood out to me about him is his freshman year, he was able to get on the field at Lovejoy with Kyle Parker Livingstone. I can't think of the kid who went to SMU. If you're able to get in that rotation with those 3 guys who are college guys and now teammates with Parker Livingstone again, that shows a lot about your ability. And I like Dalen. I've liked him for a long time.
We got Kalik Lockett in the boat right now as well.
Alrighty, I got some interesting notes I need to go put on IT.
All right, you're gonna hop off and come back on.
Somebody, well, let me stay through Michael Terry here.
Okay.
Well, it says 8:15, but is he going to do the thing where it all started
I'm sure he's
when I was 5 years old?
I was gonna say, are they gonna show their video of their life
it starts
story?
off with like soccer highlights, you know? You're like, oh my god, you're in for a long day there,
dude. Yeah, sometimes they're brutal. I like Dalen though, man.
Yeah,
that's an important grab we made.
It is.
It's gonna be nice. Recruiting day is a lot of fun. All right, we got Dalen done. Everybody's asking about old Michael. From studio. No, we are not streaming his commitment live. You guys asking?
Oh, Michael, another athletic guy, plays both sides of the ball, plays every position. Like,
yeah. Get those highlights ready to go because we're going to be talking about them in a minute.
Yep. Oh, I got them. I spent all last night making sure everybody's tape was signed up. Got a lot of Nebraska fans in here. What's up, guys?
Oh, good. No, nothing. Hey, Nebraska. All right, we'll bring up the Ryan Bailey field goal kick for the Nebraska fans that are in here.
Oh, man.
Feelings on Fasusi. We feel OU.
Yeah.
I feel OU, but oh man.
And I feel what Eric feels.
I gotta go write an update. I don't. Oh man, it's drawing closer. Like I said, Texas is going as hard after Fasusi and Justice Terry as any 2 recruits I've ever had the pleasure of covering, and so that adds a lot of variance. The whole landscape and climate adds a lot of variance to what could happen. I feel better about Fasusi than I did before I checked my messages.
I was gonna say what we just 45 minutes ago. All right, cool, dude. Signing day is so awesome. All right. Bill, thank you for the super chat, man. We really appreciate that. And like you said, that's a little bit closer to getting Justice Terry. We appreciate it, guys. We have our own NIL collective going here.
Yeah,
Hey,
doing our own thing.
we beat you guys. Come on now. You lost to us by 1 second. Well, and when you say we, you just mean Ndamukong Suh.
yeah.
Yeah. I'm interested to see what Nebraska does next year. Go Big Red. We have a lot of Nebraska fans in here. Where'd you guys come from, man? Good to see you guys, but
And the on-3 guy, Sean Callahan, he's got a stranglehold on that market. He's living the high life, man. They've got a rabid fan base. It's all good with
dude, when they sold out the stadium for volleyball, that was sick. Like Nebraska does some cool stuff, man.
Yeah.
That's wild.
But yeah, that's a fun team. Hopefully next year is looking up. You guys got the quarterback, that's for sure. All right, who do you want to talk before we go when we're in a holding pattern for Terry? Who do you guys? You guys want to talk Smith at edge, Orogbo?
Yeah, that's a high upside guy, sure.
Dude, our edge, that's what I was noticing last night, dude. Our edge recruiting, man, just imagine a couple years ago to now, we're able to do at edge is night and day, guys.
Yeah, I love Smith. His frame, I can just tell. Like once he fills out, he has one of the quickest first steps.
Basketball track background, dude. Like, he's Smith's gonna be nice too, and he's borderline 5-star. Where is he? He's kind of right there on the cusp.
He is, and you look at him, man, just getting after the quarterback. He had these super long arms, like, oh my God.
He's the Buck version of Charles Omenihu. Charles Omenihu would have been, Jack in the system. So he's a smaller version of Charles, but more athletic.
Yeah.
If he has the same chip on his shoulder as Charles did, he's going to be absolutely amazing.
We are number 3 right now, I believe, overall. Unless something changed, things move fast on recruiting day.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
But also, man, the ankle flexion, right? He's able to basically put his feet on the ground, which matters for get off.
Yeah, I love that he can rush from 3-point, 2-point. I call it basketball on grass. Like he got the crossover move. Like he got array of moves, rush to pass, and it's like you don't see that at a young age. Most people
see right here. That's both hands down.
Yeah, 4-point stand. Look at it.
Yeah,
squeeze space and then close. Colin Simmons made a play like this against A&M the other night. Right, he read the read option, read the running back, and then he still got the quarterback. Like you just saw him make a play like that. So I'm not saying he's Colin Simmons, but just the fact that he can read and react so quickly.
Yeah, dude. It's we couldn't get a sack to save our lives like a couple years ago. And now we have Simmons, Lance Jackson, Smith Orogbo. Like we have absolutely
that was back when PK needed to be fired, though.
That's true in year 1. Dude, it was so brutal because I made that video hyping up PK and everybody's like, you're an idiot. And then now I still get comments on that video like, oh, hey, you had that eval right. But that was tough that year, man.
Well, who was more likely to be right? You going over 15 years of history or them going over 6 months of history?
Right.
And those same people thought Gary Patterson was going to be the savior, who had basically the same thing. He had a great long trajectory of defense and then a really bad year.
Yeah.
It's just a selective application.
But also, you had to look at the raw materials there too.
Yeah.
What I like about our defense is it's not like schematically, it's not like corny. Like we're not beating, like we're just playing football. We're just out athleting you. Like that's what's important too. Ooh, Smith.
Yeah. That's when you know you're really, really good. You don't have to do everything. You don't have to show all these different looks and things. We're just going to line up and beat you. That's when you're really, really good. Across the board, all 11 guys on the same page, on playing on the string. They got closing speed down the line. Yeah.
Y'all make me so paranoid in the chat. And you guys are like, dang it, and crying emojis. I never know what you guys are talking about. Signing day, man, you're on edge, dude. You're just waiting. Who came in?
Yeah, right. Christmas before Christmas.
Yeah.
I like the way he splits. He gets skinny in space and squeezes through and gets through. Double teams.
Is he still around? What did they say? He's at like 225 or something? Let's see.
Yeah, he's about 225. That's fine. That's fine. Joseph Osai was 225. Again, if he's driven like Charles Omenihu or Joseph Osai, Smith Orogbo is going to be a fantastic player.
Yeah. I just like how athletic he is in his stance, his get off. It's efficient. There's not like a lot of wasted move. Sometimes you'll see DNs, they go backwards before they go forwards, and it wastes waste time.
He's coiled up, and he uses the length to his advantage. A lot of people don't know how to do that.
Yeah. He's going to be awesome.
All right, let's go to Michael Terry.
Yeah.
Michael Terry is in.
He's in?
Yes, he's in.
There we go, baby.
All right, that one was, it was the Kobe Black recruitment all over again, like we suspected. I don't want to be mean to Nebraska fan. It didn't really seem like there was a true threat. Like it was, I know he liked Nebraska. I know that they were very aggressive. I know he had good relationships. It just didn't seem like he was going to pass on going to Texas. It was, he told us it was his dream school early on. Once Texas, really told him, hey, we're going to focus on offense. You're going to be an offensive playmaker. You play a little bit of everything for us. They told him that on his official visit. That's exactly when I put in the RPM for him to pick Texas, and that's how it's played out. He's been a silent commit since September. Silent don't matter like they used to, but
dude, he's been so close to committing. It seems like every 7 days, it's like here it comes.
Yeah, it's just an indication of where his heart was at too. This is a big one. This one's going to help out in the rankings quite a bit. I wish he wanted to play defense because to me, he's a cleaner evaluation that way. But his heart's on offense, and so you got to stick with offense. So now I think we're looking at a little Jordan Humphrey sort of player for Texas, slot receiver that plays with power, size, change of direction. Good feet. Look at that. That was a good one. But
how about a situational red zone back, man?
Well, I wish he was on the team this year. Will Texas ever have this issue with running backs again? Probably not. But yeah, all right. Well, that was good, man. Yeah, it's a little anticlimactic because we've been waiting on that one for so long. But Kobe Black's was too, and you saw how Kobe Black's paying off this season, right?
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah, dude.
Terry.
Yeah, Michael Terry, man. It feels like we've been waiting on that commit video forever. Yeah.
He's love this kid. Line up anywhere, steal balls, man. It doesn't matter. And he can punt.
Yeah, we might need him in the punt game, dude.
Yeah. These guys often end up in the NFL, and you don't, the position they end up playing is a lot different than what they thought they would play.
Well, you remember we did that exploration with Paul and Ian, and we found out that athletes are actually the most likely to be drafted. Which is weird because you would think they would be it would be vague and they would misfit them. But no, man, the NFL just wants athletes. So out of like all the designations, athletes are the clearest projection to the NFL, which is interesting.
Because they have so many different paths to the NFL. It could be 4 or 5. Like Jaquindon Jackson, I knew he wasn't going to be a quarterback. And if you said that at the time, you're the biggest hater of all time. Yeah. But I knew he wasn't going to be a quarterback. What I didn't know is if he was going to be a running back or a linebacker. And, obviously he could play both. But he's going to play in the NFL at running back. I'm not saying he's going to be a game changer in the NFL, but I think he's going to play a lot in the NFL, and I think he'll be pretty good. Just didn't, you just don't know what position he'll end up being.
Yeah. Right. He wants to be tight end or slot, you said first, right?
Yeah. Little Jordan Humphrey. Well, no, he doesn't care what he is. He just wants the ball in his hands. He doesn't want to be tight end because that's going to be the longest path to the field because he's not big enough yet. And there's a lot to learn at tight end. So I think, maybe they give him a shot at running back first, maybe slot receivers. And they just, like I said, little Jordan Humphrey played running back a lot in high school. Another guy that you just knew was going to find a way to the NFL. Didn't know with him. I didn't know if it would be edge, tight end, or what. But they just find a way because they have multiple paths to the NFL.
Yeah, man, these guys just special athlete.
So Texas is now number 1 in the rankings, but celebrate it for now. But things change so fast. Who knows, man? But it feels good.
Yeah, it does.
And now fans can clip this thing, and no matter what changes, they'll still put the number 1 ranking, no matter what it currently is. Or my favorite thing fans will do is they'll pick whatever service has them ranked the highest. And it's always funny, man. But, man, I'm glad Michael Terry's in the boat. That feels like this one's been forever, man.
Yeah,
like, dude, he's going to commit. Dude, get your stuff ready. Get your stuff ready.
Like, it's your week left. They're like, all right, is he doing it this week? Is it next week?
Yeah, dude.
Every week. You just didn't know.
And not a ton of talent out of that school in San Antonio, right?
Hey, Will. Hey, Eric. How's it going? Yeah, Eric, I just
And then I don't know, man. Just looking at this kid, man. Like I can't wait to see how Sark them use him. He's a chess piece. You can put him in motion, get the matchup you want with this kid.
Yeah.
Right. And no matter what, if you put him on linebacker, he's beat. You put him on safety, they beat.
Yeah.
You line him out wide on the corner, he beats the corner. So what do you do with him? Like he's gonna have DCs and coaches calling timeouts when he's on the field.
He's a good piece. He's a good piece in the blocking game, right? You can put him out wide, do the tunnel screen to him, let him lead block too. Like he has a lot of value across the field. He can just help the offense in general. And like you said, if you put him in the slot, inside leverage, like no one's gonna be able to smack him off of a slant, right? You know, so you can easy stuff. And right here, right, like goal line. If you need a power back for whatever reason, you have that opportunity. Yeah, there's just a lot. The only thing you can't do is like, you know, Xavier Worthy speed on the outside, but he has a lot of application. He has a lot of usage. That's gonna be fun.
Yeah, it is.
Exciting. Who do we got up next? Who do we have any during this hour? Let's see.
Back to my list.
Yeah, I have like 7 tabs open over here that I'm trying to monitor everything.
Exactly, doing the exact same.
Yeah.
Notifications are all on.
So we have a Kellen Wiley 10 a.m. Eastern time. So we should have a Wiley here at 9, I believe.
That's another one you like where it's who really is the competition here? Yeah, sometimes you can just do process of elimination and have a really, really good understanding of where somebody's going to end up. And then so once you realize, all right, Florida's not pushing. Florida never really pushed very hard to begin with. Probably wasn't going to be enough to get them anyways. So yeah, you got to feel really good about Wiley. Sharma's at 4:30, unfortunately, but
I know.
Still really good.
Yeah.
Zealous Hicks is one that we've been watching. You know, it's not going to be Florida, at least according to a couple people we talked to. Texas thinks they're going to keep him, but that's one, you know, because he didn't have a process at all. He reclassified. He had such a short process. He had a lot happen in a short period of time, so he has a lot to process. Whenever they reclassify, it's, you know, they're trying to pack in an 18-month process, what's become an 18-month process, sometimes into 6 months, 5 months, 4 months, whatever.
Yeah,
that's tough.
Any chance he bulks up and moves to running back? He wants to catch touchdowns, right? He's
not going to be a down-to-down running back. That's
he's
unlikely.
Too big. Yeah.
Slot weapon. Whether you want to call him a tight end or a wide receiver. Remember, people were didn't know what to do with nomenclature on little Jordan Humphrey.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what it's going to. They don't. You know, are you going to pull him off the field for? Are you going to pull Javian Osborne off the field? You know, for Javian Osborne, the natural born bigger Darren Sproles, are you going to pull him off the field to go to Michael Terry? You know, not likely.
That's a good point.
Deebo Samuel. Why hasn't Barnes signed yet?
Check on that one.
Yeah, check on that because I haven't seen him come in yet either.
Connor, do you have a link to the IT hats? Can you throw that in there?
It should be in the video description.
All right.
So if y'all click down on the description, you should see under the sponsorship, you should have the ability to look at the hats. But I can put it in the chat too. I can't remember if we can put links in the chat.
As a Niner fan, that would please me greatly. It's fun to watch. Yeah, you know, if he proves that he can make the plays that Deebo has, you know, if it's a value add over going to somebody else with the same call, sure. You know, Deebo has such a rare skill set that, you know, it's hard to say anybody else has that. And he's got really good short area quickness, built like a running back kind of too. I thought they would get a lot more creative with Jordan Whittington, and that never materialized. But yeah, who knows? Michael Terry, it's you got an interesting skill set.
I feel like DeAndre Moore is the extension of Jordan Whittington. Like they're actually hitting the slot deep. It's interesting. All right, I put it in the chat as well. If you guys want some IT merch, go check it out. One of the hats Eric is wearing, that's the exact hat, right?
I'm not sure this one's even up there. It's got an orange bill like this, which I like better. But
he keeps
we're going to build IT merch out. We don't like to put out a Cheesecake Factory menu and then have a bunch of dead stock. So we're going to build it out over time.
You see Ian in the private chat. Ian has informed us that Terry is, in fact, an outside receiver.
Outside receiver, huh?
You know what? Let's. We're not going to play games with Ian. Ian, get on here.
Ian, you're
Man,
Ian, you're gonna have to explain to me how good his ball skills are, because he's gonna have to be a jump ball winner to be an outside receiver, because I don't think he's gonna blow by SEC corners. So what do you know about his ball skills, Ian?
Doesn't he have a 10.8 100-meter time on his resume?
I don't know if it's 10.8, but most corners, I think a lot of the corners in the SEC run that too.
Well,
To be an outside receiver, he'll have to be a jump ball guy, and I don't know that he has the jump ball skills.
well, I don't either. But I don't think if you put him inside in the slot, maybe. But like, what is the advantage that he brings in the slot over someone like a DeAndre Moore?
Well, I mean, if you can hit him for 5 yards and still get a 10-yard first down, like little Jordan Humphrey did repeatedly, carrying children, packing children on them and taking them for a ride down to first down.
Maybe.
There's
It's not even really Sark's style, though.
Well, I know he's not, but they've got a plan for him for sure. It's not outside receiver. That we know that. You're going to take Jamie French and Khalil Lockett off the field?
Well, he's got to be better than them. That whoever the wide receiver that doesn't make it from the group is just going to transfer anyway.
Yeah.
So you like give him a shot, and then if it doesn't work out, then you replace him with the next 5-star or the.
They're not missing on 5-star receivers, dude. They put way too much. They put way too much evaluation into it on the mental side as much as the physical and athletic side.
I watched him in his last playoff game, and he looks like he plays like he does not play like he's 6'3", 211. He's really quick, so he's kind of dancing around like he's
like a slot receiver.
Yeah, he's 6'3", but he's 6'3", 210. And when they played him outside, he looked good outside. Their quarterback was not, like not one of the better quarterbacks in the state. So
Irvin had good ball skills. I don't think that he has the ball skills for outside receiver. I do think he's got the ball skills for slot receiver.
This is an interesting question. Could y'all explain in layman's terms what Sark looks for in recruits? Kind of new to the whole recruit landscape. I mean, it's going to be position specific, but if you want to just what's a Sark guy?
Well, I mean, they're looking for cultural fits first. I'll probably go into it in a little more detail in the coming days about some guys they backed off of. And this is a conversation we have with a lot of fans is, why are they not going after so-and-so? Well, when he's an obvious take on tape and they're not going after a player, then you can already figure out what's going on there. They don't feel like he's going to maximize, going to be a good fit in the culture. Now, there are times they'll reach. There are times they feel like they have to reach, because the roster demands it. Why did they take Ajay Hall and Jaleel Billingsley? Because they were trying to upgrade the overall talent of the roster. But those were lottery picks. Now they're not in a position where they need to take lottery picks. The roster's built out. There are times they will reach. But for the most part, a cultural fit, someone's going to come in, be accountable, work hard, be a good citizen, follow through on their obligations outside of football. That's what he's looking for. And then, when it comes to evaluation, they want NFL size, NFL athleticism.
That's why you got us now, man. You don't need the signing day stuff.
Nope.
Yeah, when I first started doing this, ESPN was a direct competitor. Oh man, Max Olson, Will. I'm drawing a blank. There were some really good dudes. I miss those days too. ESPN was. I would go there to figure out the junior day ticker who was committing across the country. That was fun.
Yeah, that was fun. All right, let's see if any more mix in. Sorry, guys, I'm having to kind of watch all this stuff on the background too to make sure who we're getting in.
Hey, I'm going to go write some stuff up. Shoot me a text if you need me back in, or I'll come back in or something.
Yeah, sounds good, man.
All right, guys. See you.
All right.
Charlie,
Yo.
who is your favorite guy in this class?
That's tough because I had a couple. I had my top 5 with the most NFL upside to me, and I ranked them. Well, not ranked them. I just put top 5. I put Jonah, had Elijah Barnes, I had Nick Townsend, Lance Jackson, and I got to think of my 5th. Yeah, but like all those are my favorites because I feel like they're just guys that can get it done on both sides of the ball. Not so much Elijah, not so much Barnes, right? Because he's a true linebacker, but just the NFL upside of those guys, I think it's just a high ceiling. And so, but there's a lot of guys in this class that can get it done, man. It's really good to see because I haven't seen this in a long time out of class at Texas where you have true athletes right? And not that they don't have a home where they can play at. They just find a way to get it done on the field. And it's just amazing to see what the evals that Texas has done with this recruiting class. And so it's tough. I don't have a favorite one because there's so many, honestly.
That's funny. To me, this is one of the less exciting classes in a while because all the best players are in the middle.
Oh.
You know? Like the perimeter guys. Like, actually, I do like Nick Brooks a lot.
Yeah.
If they can poach Fizusi, then that's changes the equation there. But I get the most excited, you know, when the team has like elite looking offensive tackles,
Okay.
elite looking edges, cornerback, and then like the deep threat burner down the field. So some of these receivers might be that, but that's not exactly how they profile.
Right.
But French is so smooth. He might be that even without the elite speed.
Yeah, definitely.
But they loaded up like the last class. They got the Baker and the Simmons last class. And I don't know. The cornerback is interesting to me. These guys, to me, they look like cover three corners. There's not a lot of – I think Grayson Littleton is the one to me that looks the most like like a pure man.
Yeah.
Turn your hips kind of guy.
Yeah, you look at his film, he plays a ton of press man, so he shows that a lot that he can do it. But you're right. I think Chester and Phillips are more the cover three guys. You know, they kind of turn butt the sideline. They can bail. They got great makeup speed, and can react to the ball in the air. So they could be a lot of, you know, or the match quarters that they love. But I haven't seen it much this year, but that Texas used to run.
What district is Caleb Chester in? Because he runs well with people on tape, but what's his competition like?
I look at High Towers district and see.
Because I think he runs with people well. I agree that Phillips, that's why he got that safety eval, because he comes downhill really quick. So like a cover three corner that can sit on it and then fire back down, I think Phillips would be really strong there as well.
You know, back at Washington, the way they would do it was like, this wasn't consistent, but in that match 3 scheme, you wanted the lightning quick dude in the slot.
Yeah.
And then one of the corners might be like a press man kind of guy, but then the other one might be more of a big, keep it in front of you, close on the ball type dude.
Yeah.
Like Sidney King.
Let's go.
Or I don't, you know, if for Texas, like Ryan Watts or Javante Davis kind of dude.
Yeah. All right, y'all. Before we keep going, let's hear from Lux.
This video is brought to you by Luxe Kitchen and Bath. Luxe has been offering high-end kitchen and bathroom remodels for 3 generations throughout the greater Austin area. With 5-star review after 5-star review on Google and Facebook, and an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau, you can put your faith in Luxe Kitchen and Bath's award-winning designers and skilled craftspeople to bring to life that dream vision of your special home. But that's not all. Luxe's all-star team provides full remodels, large additions, and even commercial build-outs as well. So call Luxe Kitchen and Bath at 833-358-LUXE today. Or visit luxekitchenbath.com to discover where quality meets luxury and begin the process of transforming your home. Get a free quote today by calling 833-358-LUXE. That's LUXE. Or by visiting luxekitchenbath.com. Link in the description.
Got an email from the good people at Lux yesterday. One of your fellow viewers utilized them for a remodel. We got before and after pictures. It looks great. So make sure to hit them up, guys. They do a good work. Scrolling through our moderating only thread, make sure to come over to InsideTexas.com, guys. This is Command Central. Everything we're doing is supplementary here. But it looks like Michael Terry was the last one, the last latest. Did you ever word from Elijah Barnes on what's going on?
No, hopefully got the whole Ryan Wingo thing overslept, but we'll see. Maybe that's bad traffic in Dallas right now.
Was he doing an official signing, like a school signing or anything? Or
he just going to post a sign today, but they have an official like on Friday, like the big ceremony on Friday. But he was supposed to sign today at 7:30. So I reached out to him and family just to make sure they're okay. But maybe he overslept this morning.
It's not an important day.
Yeah.
And you sent me your 5 favorites. Let me I want to see. We talked about some people already this morning, so we don't want to repeat them. But okay, you have a pretty
All
good
my
one.
picks are unique and original.
They honestly are, minus
Like-
number 3 here. We haven't talked about. Okay,
Like
let's
Michael
talk.
Perry on the outside, I still think. I
Hey,
don't-
go for it, man.
It's like if he could be exciting if he were a slot that blocked like Whittington. But when I watch him play right now, I don't see like the most like physical, I'm going to put you in the dirt kind of player in Terry. He seems like he's all like finesse and speed. So I want somebody like that outside.
Hey, go for it, man. Text Sark, let them know. Get on it. What's the chances, Coach Dub? What's the chances of a Pettijohn flip? They will not let him go, brother.
I know.
Slim to none, or Slim just left town.
He just as we speak, he just signed with Ohio State. So unless he's gonna get out of that and go into the portal now, yeah, chances are.
We're already on the next round of recruitment.
Yeah,
we are officially portal recruiting for him. Man, Pettijohn was a fun one, man.
it was.
Yeah, and then they got Devin Sanchez to sign early this morning too,
Yeah.
right?
Yep, they did.
So Ohio State, man, they come into Texas and take some nice ones. Doesn't feel as bad as like a couple years ago, but we're holding on to more. All right, your number 1 player was actually Nick Brooks. So let's pull him up, Ian, and let's talk. And I know Coach loves O-line, so we can shout out to the big boys as well. These freak of nature guys that are just total flood guys. Here we go. This is junior year tape here. Number 73, finishing blocks.
Road grader.
He can pull around. He's even faster in his senior stuff, man.
He's really good. He reminds me a little bit of Orlando Bloom. No, not Orlando Bloom.
I was like, interesting.
Doesn't remind me at all of Orlando Bloom.
Kind of got a
Brown.
Legolas vibe to him.
My kid just discovered Pirates of the Caribbean, so
Oh, okay.
Orlando Brown. A little bit. Orlando Brown's like tape in high school was ridiculous. Because I don't know what level he was playing at. Wasn't he like in he might have been like in Baltimore or something, but kids just didn't want to go anywhere near him.
Yeah.
So you're like, he seems to move pretty well. He doesn't have a lot of violent engagements with people because nobody wants any part of it. And,
I did like him pancaking and finishing blocks. I always look for that on OL. Are they mean enough to just fall on a poor linebacker afterwards? And he is mean enough.
That was Orlando Brown. This guy faces a little better competition, so you actually get to see him engage with people. But they're so like overmatched. Look at this.
Exactly. Poor linebacker.
So he'll be. I think he's a lock at maybe left tackle because he moves well, but it'll depend on those pass sets.
Yeah,
For sure.
I think he's a right tackle going forward, like just with the other guys in the room, right?
I mean, everybody said that about Cameron Williams, and
I was just about to say the same thing, but Big Cam.
Cameron Williams is there. Somebody's going to draft him and take a shot at left tackle.
Yeah, I'm just talking with Gooseby. I'm just talking pile up wise. He'll probably end up being right tackle.
Yeah, he'll start there for sure, and then we'll see what happens.
Yeah, it's like I saw some film of him moving. I was like, okay, he can move for a big guy, and so I thought left tackle initially, and then I thought right tackle. Just going against, I guess it's just different competition he lined up against. But I think we'll just have to see how he develop, like Big Cam, right? And once he gets to the Texas program, kind of works on lateral movement and everything like that, they get his body right. I think he could be left or right tackle. Just really depends.
Orlando Pace was also massive, but I was thinking Orlando Brown.
Yeah, Big Orlando, Big Zeke.
He's the dude that was
talking about Orlando Brown, the little brother on That's So Raven. There's like this famous. That's what they're talking about.
Oh, really? I was like, did he end up with the Ravens? I don't even remember. That sounds like a Ravens kind of player. Orlando Brown was with Oklahoma. It used to be, young children gather around. It used to be in the 2010s that Oklahoma would take all these freakish upside guys that were like high 3-star, low 4-star type dudes. And you'd watch them and they'd be just like freak athletes that were maybe really raw or whatever. and then Bill Bedenbaugh would turn them into just a unbelievable volume of NFL players they'd have.
Yeah.
Now they're kind of losing that a little bit. If you look at their young guys they have now, they're not really like that. And it's Texas that's doing that. It's really nice.
Yeah.
But the result is that a lot of the comps that I think of when I see the Kyle Flood takes I'm like, yeah, it looks like this guy that I remember Oklahoma having.
Look at, ooh, man. Yeah, he's got a mean streak too, man. That's important. He's had an interesting journey too, right? What was he? Was he Missouri to Georgia, Missouri to Georgia, or something like that? He had a kind of a wild high school movement pattern.
Yeah, he moved around.
I have no idea.
A lot.
But I'm glad, man. Anytime you kind of get the random Georgia O-line, you don't know how much you can trust it. And he signed early this morning. Doesn't seem like there's been too much drama with him. That was enjoyable.
Yeah, I always look at it as if you got somebody like Iowa coming at you very, very hard, like that says a lot about the kind of player they think you can be, right? Because Iowa, all they do is get guys, develop them, send them to the NFL. If they thought highly of him, then I'm okay with it.
Yeah, me too.
Iowa, that's also a good mental eval.
Yeah.
Because you're not going to go to Iowa and get pampered, I'll tell you that.
That's for sure.
Yeah, right.
Hey, guys, the number one spot right now. We're also having a silly season sale, which is fun to say whenever you're trying to present. Sprint to National Signing Day, coaching carousel, transfer portal moves. $1 for 7 days. I know you guys got $1. I know you guys got it. So go sign up for Inside Texas. Y'all can be in the mix. This is a fun time of year to join the board. A lot of ups and downs. It's super enjoyable. We haven't seen much downs today, though, man. That's what's been good so far. We have some growing anxieties because we have Josiah Sharma at 4:30, I believe. That's an interesting one. USC has been pushing there. Eric said earlier that he believes the agent is involved here. So hopefully we can get Sharma in the boat. I think Eric feels good about that unless something changed recently. So that one. And then we're also keeping an eye on Zealous Hicks. You reclassified the safety that reclassified. We want to see that NIL or NLI come in for him as well, because that's going to be interesting. And what was he? Was he like the number? He's like a top 3 safety right before he reclassified. I can't remember.
Yeah, he was up there before reclassify, and like I said, I got chest speak with him just a little bit. Last night. So he's weighing on his decision. It's like, okay, but you're still committed to Texas, so we'll see. It's stressful. It's stressful for every kid, right? They're about to make a decision.
Especially if you reclassify, right?
Right.
You should have an extra year of being able to vet this kind of stuff. And
exactly.
How do you feel about the reclassifying trend? I mean, if you're Ryan Williams, I guess it works out. I guess it's player dependent, right?
Yeah, definitely. Especially if you want to go ahead. You may look at the depth chart or you look at the current class and say, hey, if I jump in this 25, if I reclassify and jump in 25 class, I maybe get on the field a lot faster because there's a need versus waiting until next year. Things could change, right? The hot team may not be the hot team or, things change with coaching changes so much. So it's just about best fit per kid, honestly, with the reclassify.
I like reclassification for skill players where it's like they have the athleticism and you get them young and they maybe have a little less tread off the tires. I would hate it for any position that's more of a mental eval. I do not want a reclassified kid. I want them in the program as old as possible. I want that as much as the prefrontal cortex be developed as we possibly can.
Yeah, I agree. No way we only signed 2 defensive tackles, right? I know Sark is cautious about overspending, but Terry would be worth it, right? He's talking about Justice Terry. And yes, there's no question. Right now, Eric has said that we are willing to pay for a Fasusi and a Justice Terry, right? So that's important. So can we sign only 2 DTs? We have to wait till Friday. And hey, look, it's the guy that knows this specifically. Hey, Eric.
Hey, what's going on?
How you doing? No way we only signed 2 DTs, right? I know Stark is cautious about overspending, but Terry would be worth it, right?
I mean, what do you mean no way? Of course that's possible right now. They've only got 2 committed and a 5-star that they're after on Friday. So yeah, that's a possibility. It's not ideal. Obviously came in with that being the biggest need in the class. Of course, I said that last cycle as well. And Yeah, but I mean, it's a strong possibility that they end up with 2. But I just wrote a note over on InsideTexas.com. You can read it for $1. They are going very hard after Justice Terry. So we'll see how it plays out. But yeah, ending up with 2 is a possibility.
Okay, this is interesting.
What Ian comparisons did I miss?
He compared Nick Brooks to Orlando Bloom, Legolas. So that was one of his stronger picks.
Orlando Bloom, not Orlando Brown, huh?
Yeah,
I got there eventually.
But he had some very, of course, unique comps.
Oh my God.
Dallas Wilson stuck with Oregon after picks for Florida.
Oh.
Yeah. Man, these players are smart though. Like, hey, Florida's saying this. Oregon's like, fine.
I thought
here's a Nike deal.
Oh man. Well, you know what? At least Florida got their heart ripped out after trying to go after Texas's commits.
Yeah. Man,
True.
Florida came on strong at the end there, man. That was an interesting way to finish it. All right, Ian, let's talk more of your picks here. We already did Jonah. We did Nick.
Mm-hmm.
You liked Grayson Littleton, right? Didn't you?
Yeah, Grayson Littleton, like I said, he seems like the most pure man coverage guy of the secondary takes that they have. The other guys seem like they'll teach him to play zone. They all have length. Pretty physical group overall. But this is the one to me that stands out as like that's the dude that's just a.
Well, his returning ability's been awesome too on tape.
Well, we're gonna have to sit through 5 minutes of return touchdowns before we see him play corner.
That's true.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's true.
I talked to somebody that knows DBs across the country extremely well, and I said, if Malik Muhammad is a 9 out of 10, what is Grayson Littleton? And he said, well, he's an 8.5. And I said, damn, okay, I was not expecting that. And then I told him, I said, I wasn't expecting that. And he goes, yeah, but he's faster than Malik. And so, that's that really has piqued my interest.
Malik was, I mean, the comp for Malik is his cousin, Jabbar.
Yeah, but Jabbar's like 2 inches shorter, 3 inches shorter.
Yeah. Although, man, it does not seem to stop him. That he's so good.
Who's he playing against at Wiregrass? Do we know anything about the Florida competition level?
I mean, the comp looks terrible, which I think is why he returns every other kick for a touchdown. But I've seen him in 7-on-7, and he was sort of on the radar at that point, so I paid close attention to him. He's going up against a lot of really good receivers. And he was blanket for sure.
Yeah, that part of Tampa, as far as competition, it's hit or miss, but they do have a ton of speed, a ton of athletes that he does face. One guy, a coach where UNLV coaches high school in Tampa now, coaches receivers, and said, he's a competitive, athletic guy. You put him on the speedy guys, you put him on your best receiver each and every Friday night. Like, he's going to blanket him and shut him down.
Good pursuit.
Yeah,
it's good pursuit.
I think he'll stay outside. What I said earlier, like you could put him in the slot, and he could erase the slot with the lateral quickness. But I think that just pure speed, he'll just stay outside at corner,
field corner.
Yeah,
I
think so.
Yeah, they'll have him at field and Cade at boundary long term.
That'd be cool. No updates on Bo.
No updates yet.
Coach put a feeler out there, but we're waiting to hear back.
Are we really going to pretend to worry about Bo Barnes?
Yeah, this is intrigue, man.
It's either that or Ian makes more mistaken sci-fi references. So
yeah,
We'll let the audience.
Nah.
We'll let the audience choose.
No, a lot of these prospects, a lot of them are going to be great on special teams. Like,
Yeah,
you worry about special teams now, but we're getting a lot of guys who can play special teams at the next level. And
what about kick coverage for him? Because he has good speed, willingness to hit. He's not super big to smack people, but he might be good to try to pin people later.
yeah,
I don't know what his height is. What is he, 6 flat right now or something?
I don't think he's 6 foot. 5'11". It's not like he's 5'9" or something.
Yeah.
and I like the other guys better for that. They also one time I was talking to Lincoln Riley when he was the Oklahoma head coach, and he had inherited all these tight ends and fullbacks from Bob Stoops. but he kept using them and he just incorporated them in his spread. And so I was like, is that something that you want to aim for now? Have you like been converted, or do you want to get back to more spready, more receivers? And then he was like, well, it's really helpful on special teams if you have more of those medium-sized body types. So like when you have a team that is used to incorporating tight ends and linebackers and whatever, those guys fill a lot of roles for you on special teams that you don't generally think about, like protection and stuff like that. So he seemed a little sold. This class is loaded with guys like that.
Yeah.
Tacklers that may not be the fastest guys in the world, but they're going to tackle. And then the bigger, sturdier body types in the middle.
Yeah, I'm looking at some more top liney kind of guys. So Eric, he got the fancy phone call.
He did, didn't he?
That was
you
hear that ringer on his phone again. Something.
Yeah, we know it's the bat signal.
That's one of the important ones.
Man, let's talk Khalid Lockett, man, real quick.
Yeah.
One of my favorites, man. This is my style of receiver. If you can moss people, you're a 5-star to me. I love it.
Yeah, look, he's going to win a ton of 50-50 balls at the next level. He does that very well. He has good body control, man. He'll go up and get it. He's a physical receiver. He'll break tackles. I didn't call him I didn't want to call him like Dez Bryant, but he's a bigger receiver like that in high school where he just kind of bodies people up.
Yeah.
But he goes up and gets the ball, man.
You can tell Chris Jackson picked these receivers.
Yep.
Because like in college, I like just put fast guys out there and just run by people.
Yeah.
In the NFL, that's not the game.
Right.
In the NFL, it's all about the dudes that can catch. And yeah, he's like that. French is like that.
Look at that.
Yeah.
I love Khalid Lockett, man. He's probably my favorite player.
Hopefully Michael Terry is like that.
Because like speed is cool, man, but you don't need speed if the hands are nice.
Right. Yeah,
Still
he'll get there. Chris Jackson will help him. He'll develop, become a crisp route runner and things like that. But like when you get in trouble with the quarterback, you just want a guy you can throw the ball up to.
Yeah,
like, that's him. He's gonna go get it.
Yeah, like right there.
Yeah,
He jumps for no reason because the quarterback overthrows it, but he can get it.
Yeah, look at that.
Look at that.
Yeah, good
That
concentration.
awareness.
You see that with Georgia too, right? Like how bad does Georgia wish they had somebody
They
outside
can catch.
putting in a contested catch?
Dude, Georgia's wide receivers are brutal to watch. Look at that.
Yep.
That's important. We don't have a ton of that.
Nope.
AD could do it.
I'm thinking through the guys they have now. Gunnar Helm.
Gunnar Helm can do it. That's about it. Golden's good in the red zone, but not in that way. Not in like a jump up way. Golden's better at boxing you out, like the quick outs and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't look at it.
Golden's the biggest red zone threat we have. It's not like the AD jump ball style of red zone threat.
Big physical guy.
You know what do we have any verified times on him?
Golden or Lockett?
Lockett.
I want to say that they're not that fast.
Yeah. It was like 11.
I don't care about Golden. I can see Golden competing at this level.
Yeah, long strider. He's going to go up and get the ball. He's a 50-50 guy. Possession receiver, that's fine. That's okay. You got to have a mix of everything, honestly.
Dude, I love possession receivers.
Okay. I see in 2022, 11.54.
Yeah.
11.54. Yeah, that's not very fast.
That's not very fast. That's as a ninth grader.
Okay.
But that sounds like he's probably like a 4.6 kind of dude, like with training and a few years in the weight room.
What's his height?
4.6 is fine. How fast does Cooper Kupp run?
Yeah.
Not that fast.
Not that fast.
Faster than me. That's not why.
Yeah,
that's not why
we're judging based off you're the marker of our speed. Right. If they're faster or slower than Ian.
Faster than Ian.
Man, technique can beat that kind of stuff. That's what I like in the red zone there. Look at that.
That was a good one.
That was. A good understanding of space, solid hands. He can go up and get it.
want to say he broke Devin Duvernay's record at Saxe High School.
Saxe.
Yeah.
We've had good luck there.
He was able to
catch almost throwing opposite hash. Who's that quarterback?
I don't know who the quarterback is. Look,
that would have been his junior year. Not a bad throw for a high schooler.
Hey, he had a great year with Alex Orji as his quarterback. That tells you a lot.
Oh yeah, he did have Orji, right?
Yeah,
and Orji can't pass.
Yeah, he's I bet you anything Orji moves to another position this offseason.
Yeah, you play defense like your brothers, man. Go play linebacker or some safety. I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely, or tight end.
That too.
His hands must be pretty decent because he had to catch all those shotgun snaps.
Yeah. Gerald says there's a coup coming our way. Gerald, who are you a fan of? I can't remember. Ole Miss or something? That'd be weird. I haven't heard about Ole Miss at all.
That's never good. Although you wonder if their donors that put in all that money are looking at Lane like, no, you cannot. That was it. You blew it.
Yeah.
Let's look. Sorry, man. I'm getting so many texts and trying to
It's going on.
make sure that we're all good. All righty. Let's see. Ian, who was your other pick? 2 picks, I believe.
I like Amari Winston.
Okay. We'll pull up.
I was just reading Coach Dubb's comments on him. Seems like Coach Dubb is not as big on Amari Winston as I am.
I think he's a great player. Just kind of watching him, I think he's that old school tight end to me. Like he does a great job, like with bootlegs and Wago standing faces the quarterback, and he has soft hands. He'll run through people. He might even hurt over some people. He's more athletic than most people give him credit for. But he's that old school traditional like tight end. Like he's gonna blow you off the ball. I compared him to old Barrett Matthews, who used to play for Texas. Like he's solid H back. You can use him behind. Like they used Juan Davis. Honestly, he'll blow some people up though.
It may have been that I was recently watching Michigan just run behind Max Bradison like 50 times against Ohio State. But I really enjoy Winston. I think he's a good athlete. I think he has good hands. They give him the ball a lot in their offense, which is a good sign.
See,
like this, that's like a classic Texas tight end screen. Look at him.
He is.
Yeah, he's a scheme multiplier and because he doesn't have like a huge ranking or
awesome
recruiting profile, fans just let him they think very lowly of him. But he's going to allow Sark to do a whole lot of things that I think fans tend not to notice. Like those guys that we talked about earlier that OU had all those guys that Lincoln Riley inherited. You mentioned.
Do it.
Yeah,
He does all that stuff.
My only question, I don't know if he's listed at like 6'1.5". I don't know if they're going to want to. I don't know if they're going to want to put him in line. I don't know if he's going to have the length like right there. I mean, he's just running a route.
I saw a picture of him next to Nick Townsend, and they look pretty close. Nick's 6'3.5" for sure. So I'm thinking that might have been maybe he was on the radar early and they didn't update. I don't know. I haven't stood next to the kid, but definitely a versatile piece.
He exploited zone well there, so he has a good understanding.
Yeah,
He seems to have good hands too. Catches away from the body a lot.
Yeah, I really like him. The Townsend is good too, but look at that. A lot of Townsend's clips, some of his best clips are actually on defense where he probably won't play.
Yeah.
Townsend.
Yeah, this guy's a bulldog, man. I think fans are selling him short.
Well, Ian is not. He's amongst Ian's top 5 favorites.
Ian's in the Ian ranking.
That makes me have to reconsider my stance now.
Look at him.
Look at that. I mean, that kid's pretty tiny. That kid doesn't look that big, but still. Oh.
See, he understands zone, which is important too.
He does very well.
Yeah, that matters a lot.
He faked
and he changed hands with the ball. He shows some real understanding of the game. There you go. There's your RPO.
Look at him. Yeah, he's gonna bounce off everybody.
He's a fun player.
Yeah, some of this could be that he's already 230 playing against high schoolers, but
he's been committed so early too, man. He's been in the boat for a while.
230 at the high school level is really tough when you're that quick and you're going up against the kind of guys that are in high school secondaries.
They haven't missed a lot of evaluations in the last couple of classes, so that, and they took them real early, and they kept them when they, it tells you how they feel about them.
Yeah, Nick Townsend has some crazy.
Ain't nobody sleeping on Nick Townsend on Inside Texas. He's a board favorite over on IT. Everybody, he should be a top 50 player in the nation, no doubt. We talked about Nick earlier as one of the locks to be in the NFL if he stays healthy.
I like Winston, man. And he's doing a lot for them, right? They have him out in the slot. They have him in line. They have him Gravedigger. Like, he's doing a lot of offense for a young guy.
He is.
He's definitely he's going to be our most experienced tight end as far as doing the breadth of tight end responsibility.
Yep.
Yeah.
He was playing hurt a lot this year too. I noticed he missed a game in the playoffs and then came back the next one.
Yeah, I like him, man. That's an Ian pick.
Yeah, it is.
Look at that. So he might not be the longest guy, but he uses the whole catch radius.
Yeah.
He's for sure would be a great H-back.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. He's a scheme multiplier.
And in the spread, he could just play him off the ball and it's fine. That's what they did with JT Sanders. It's not like JT Sanders was that great in line either. I just wonder if Townsend can play on the line. That'd be
Kansas State stuff. Oregon and Locker. Great.
All right, let me check in. Let's see if anybody else has shown up since old.
Kellen Wiley, feel good about him, have felt good about him since his official visit. Doesn't even really have a close competitor that I know of. Florida backed off just because Florida's only taken 2. They need to save spot for the portal. He didn't OV to Miami. We're just waiting on him.
And he's supposed to go at 10 Eastern, right?
No.
Kellen?
I don't think so.
Yeah. Justin has him on the mod thread at 10 a.m. Eastern.
Okay. Well, maybe he's up right now and they're doing their school thing. Who knows, man? I don't know.
Coach Dub, do me a favor. Read that comment by Jay Cabler 24.
Yeah, no shot there.
Eastern Michigan. I saw that. Somebody else posted that.
Eastern Michigan is a hilarious place for him to go.
Yeah.
I used to live right by Eastern Michigan University.
The situation with running backs is insane if y'all have kept up at all. For Ole Miss? He's Ole Miss, man. All right. So we can pull up Sharma. Would you guys like to discuss Sharma? He's the last one of Ian's list.
Maybe.
I know the fans are going to be.
I love him.
Assuming he signs, I want to.
Dude, Myron Charles is my favorite DT in this class. Just
I like they're all
so do I. Yeah, I'm not saying any of them are bad.
Are
yeah.
Great.
We're lucky. We got a good 2. Hopefully we can turn it into a good 3, but
yeah.
Do this.
Like this first snap, man, just the move he puts on his O-line and gets in the backfield.
Dude, yeah.
It's just phenomenal. See you.
Probably more 6'3.5", but doesn't lack size.
Mm-mm.
When they demolish competition like this, though, I'm always curious of like what that adjustment's like. First couple weeks of college.
Folsom plays some good players. I mean, some good teams. Yeah, I've been around that area. It's not terrible competition at all.
Sharma has not signed. Sharma is supposedly signing at 4:30 Central. So later in the day will be Sharma.
I have an old college bud that runs a amphitheater in Folsom. He says every visiting act plays Folsom City Blues at some point.
I was gonna say, yeah. Yep. Yeah, Eric was in that area. Is that close to Lake Tahoe, Eric?
Yeah, it's about an hour and a half or so.
I don't know California at all.
Yeah, I went down there and talked to him a couple times. Yeah, when I'm talking to a coach there last night, he's like, because we had that mishap in June.
Yeah,
he felt bad. He felt like he kind of misled me. I'm like, you didn't mislead me, man. His recruitment changed. That's not a problem. And so now he's like, well, he's locked in with Texas, but what happened last time? I'm like, yeah, I do know what happened last time. But yeah, Texas feels like they're holding on to him. They can't afford to lose Charles and Sharma, either one of them, after losing Mbachu. And not hitting numbers like they wanted to in the past couple classes. But, sometimes I really like it when Texas, I've said this a lot, I like it when Texas is against the wall because it forces them to do everything they possibly can to make it right. And so, only having 2 guys, assuming Sharma signs, and then going all in on Terry, like you kind of want them to have their back against the wall going into that recruitment. And, at the same time, Georgia's got a 5-star guy committed. That guy's probably telling Georgia, I want every last thing that you're giving Justice Terry. So they might have to do this times too.
Yeah.
That is the rough part, right? Whenever you have to sell out the other commits and there's like, hey, I'm a 5-star.
Exactly.
All right, y'all, make sure to like and subscribe if you're on YouTube.
Hey, who was that guy that gave us the super chat earlier? I'm sorry, I meant to thank him. That was a baller move. Where is he?
If you're on Twitter, make sure to retweet, guys, because we have 10,000 total viewers now across all platforms. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Let's see. So that was Bill that hooked up.
Thank you very much, Bill. My bad for brains racing 100 miles an hour right now. We really appreciate you, buddy. Thank you.
Hey, Eric, are you ready for a Sharma comp from Ian?
Oh man, I'm not sure. I am not sure.
To me, of the D tackles Texas has had in the last several years, he reminds me the most of Collins after Collins had really moved inside to tackle.
Why? Because of pass rushing traits? He's not built like him.
The pass rushing, the length, and the size.
Yeah, I don't think he's 6'5" though. I think you're Mbachu growing into a Collins comp was better, and we don't really want to rehash that because that's heartbreaking. But Collins is longer and skinnier coming out of high school. I don't know. I think Sharma's going to be better at the point of attack than Alfred. I've got to think about it. Maybe one of those guys
got there eventually.
Yeah, Alfred did. Alfred definitely got there eventually. He might be a little more similar to Broughton actually, but better at the point of attack.
He seems like he's got a heavier build and is bigger in his legs than Broughton.
Yeah, he's more of a D tackle where those guys, remember, coming out of high school, they had a chance to stay at 4I. Had Orlando stuck around. He finally got some guys that could have played 4I, and then he was out the door.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, Longhorn, thank you.
Yeah, great job, IT. In my 50 years as a Longhorn fan, I don't remember a year where Texas dominated OU, Arkansas, and A&M. Cap it off with a natty. Love this. It's a fun season, man. Yeah. If you guys forgot, we're playing Georgia for the SEC championship on Saturday as well. It's just so insane.
Yeah.
But man, it's insane that getting ready to play Georgia for the SEC championship game, and Ian and Paul are the best guys in the market of analyzing and breaking down games, and there's no thirst for it. Now it's going to flip. It's going to entirely flip tomorrow morning. They'll be like, "Hey, where's all the team information?" Blah blah blah. But it's crazy that Texas is in the first year of the SEC getting ready to play Georgia for the championship, and the entire focus is on recruiting.
Yeah, and we're going to film with Ian and Paul a little bit later today. We're going to do a Georgia-specific breakdown. So you guys will see on Deep Dive. So for you scheme heads and all that, you're still going to get it. But, yeah, not today, though, baby.
Yeah, not today.
Colin Farrell for his chameleon-like ability to fit into any role, I think.
I watched 2 episodes of The Penguin the other day, and sometimes you forget it's him until you get a good look in the eyes, and you're like, oh, yeah, it's Colin Farrell. But
do you like it?
Yeah, I don't like comic book movies, so it hasn't really been very, comic bookish at all.
I heard it's like Sopranos, like set in that world.
It's more mob, and I'm all into that stuff. So I do like it. It's pretty good.
Yes, Texas right now is currently number 1.
Yeah.
Really?
On 3.
On 3.
Huh.
Yeah.
Like the tower.
Gotta wait. Does Bama still have any on the hook? I know Georgia, of course, has one on the hook. But
Georgia's got a couple guys they're going after still. I'm not sure what it seems like. Bama loses people, and then they keep staying in the same spot. So I don't know.
We got to use our A&M conspiracies there. You're telling Alabama's paying the recruiting services?
Hey, we told you guys a long time ago that they're doing all they can to keep the dynasty alive in Tuscaloosa. So they've been doing everything they can to ensure Kalen DeBoer's success.
Yeah. So this is what we're looking like right now. Top 5, Auburn at 5th. Hey man, shout out Auburn. Oregon's been splashing all that money around and still hasn't made top 5, huh? That's pretty wild. I would have thought they were first with how
a lot of times Oregon is pretty top heavy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
What's
makes
interesting is Florida is still at 11th after all the noise they've made.
sense.
Yeah, it makes you wonder
Oregon-
where they would have been after, had they not gone that route. And then where's A&M?
8th, because they just landed that 5-star receiver a couple hours ago.
Oregon's natural recruiting footprint is not heavy on the blue chips.
No, they've got, the Pacific Northwest has some years where there's a couple players and that's it. They've got to, own the West Coast. USC is recruiting decently.
OU is number 16.
That's all right. They
USC
got a free GM now who's going to
Can't
come
they be
in.
that high? Honestly,
Hey, that
NFL.
that GM was the former CEO of AT&T. It struck a chord. I had to look up his Wikipedia page. I know somebody that knows him pretty well, and I was getting fed OU information in the past. So I'm hoping that line stays open.
I heard somebody reached out to me and was like, I worked at AT&T under this guy, and he did not keep the main thing. It was a disaster.
Eric, feels like DT recruiting has turned into the toughest position to land top flight guys, or has that always been the case? It's always been the case. It's scarcity. There's just not enough of them, and everybody needs them. And the teams that can get them usually stockpile a few of them, which makes them even more or less numerous for everybody else. You look at, Georgia will get like 3 or 4 a year when other teams that are, even that recruit pretty well are lucky to get one. Texas having 2 is good, but and making, compounding the issues is Bo Davis did a poor job in the last 2 cycles. And so every year's gotten even tougher, or it's become more urgent that Texas does well. And now, they're very costly. I saw a comment up the thread a little bit that said, you can't pinch pennies when it comes to D tackles. That's not the problem with Texas right now. They had a bad plan in 2023. They couldn't quite execute in 2024. Bo Davis leaving, hurt him with DeAndre Robinson. So now it's crucial with that. Like I said, you want them to feel this urgency with Justin Terry's decision forthcoming.
Yeah. All right. OU is ranked 10th in the SEC in recruiting. Go Big Red Part 2. All right, Eric, if you need to hop off and do your thing, we're going to bring Justin on, so we'll be good. We got some recruiting guys, and you can go.
All right. Appreciate it, guys.
All right. Later, dude.
See you.
All righty.
Old
J-Star, baby.
yeah.
The man, the myth,
There he
the
is.
legend.
Camo on. Uh-oh.
You good, Justin? Can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you guys. I'm good.
Justin's battling the elements right now.
I woke up with no power or Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
So my phone is really upset.
Yeah.
I'm happy. Texas has a #1 class right now. I'm fired up.
Yeah.
That's the goal. But my phone is like, piss off.
Yeah.
Right now. So, and we still got more we're dealing with. So if I bail out on the last second, you'll know it's
we
good.
get it. We've already had Eric disappear as well.
How are they higher than Georgia?
Well, I mean, that's normal.
Just because
Ian, you are up
What
in the
is Ian
screen
doing?
right now, brother.
I'm trying to read this screen.
I'll make it bigger for you.
Looks
So
like
who are you
he's
trying to see?
licking the screen.
It's weird that Georgia's not higher because they got, some dudes in there. It looks like. I don't know how this is
It's an average rating thing.
Georgia, if they get Justice Terry, will shoot up probably 2 spots.
Right. Yeah, that's why it's important
And they're likely to get him.
so it's battling to figure out Terry till Friday.
Alabama's probably going to lose Haywood to Michigan. That's going to drop them.
Okay.
Who's that?
He's the
First
tackle.
offensive lineman out of Denton Ryan.
Right,
That's the 2025. 6'5", 290 pounds. Really, really probably the most finely tuned offensive lineman in the state, not named Michael Fasusi, and you could probably make an argument for both.
Cool.
That's weird. Michigan's going into Denton Ryan for linemen. They usually
They're going around the country for
There
linemen.
they are.
It doesn't matter where they're at.
They usually just get them from the Midwest, and they do just
Right,
like,
but I think they figured out if Sharon Moore wants to have an ounce of success in Ann Arbor, they have to go get guys not on the East Coast.
right? Doesn't seem like they do. I mean, they may think that, but they just did pretty well without that. Now they went south for D tackles. They
went all over the place.
But
Michigan
for
in the
O-line,
last
that's
3
weird.
weeks has gone crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't think it's going to work. I think
And they're in the heart of Dallas for the top running back in 2026. Michigan is a national brand.
Is
they're
that
not going to stick around in Michigan?
Osborne, right?
Yeah, Osborne.
Javian Osborne. That's down to Texas and Michigan.
Yeah.
He just signed Andrew Marsh, the wide receiver out of Houston.
Yeah.
Michigan is all over.
They're all over.
Ian's been out of Ann Arbor way too long.
I think they're flushing all that money down the John.
Hey, you're preaching to the converted on that one. But let them do that. Let them do that. That way, when Michigan comes to Austin in 2 years, it'll be Arch versus Bryce Underwood. It'll be a nice little card.
OU's consolation is they do still technically lead the Big 12 in recruiting rankings because TCU is next highest at 25th. That's the big difference with the SEC, man. It's crazy.
That gap is just.
I saw an amazing tweet by an OU writer bragging about how Arbuckle was coming to Oklahoma, and the first thing he was going to do was go kick Oklahoma State's door down and steal their quarterback. And I was like, that's not that much of a
chore
brag.
Yeah.
I guess that's Oklahoma's
poor guys.
Did Oklahoma get that quarterback they wanted? That local 3-star kid that they really wanted?
Yeah. I think
or did he wind up going to Tulsa?
Surely not.
I think they were battling. It was either Tulsa or Oklahoma, and the kid was truly torn.
You guys want to look at KJ Lacey? Or you guys want to look at running backs? You guys want to look at Ricky Stewart?
I can watch Ricky all day.
I was going to say.
I watched the kid go for 200 yards with 103 temperature in the flu.
Yeah, let's look at old Ricky.
He went for 300. When was that? Either 2 weeks ago, and they've got a rematch with Kilgore, a district rival. Ricky had 300 last week.
Look at it.
And when I tell you this is the Ricky Stewart show, look, he's been starting since he was a freshman.
Yep.
It's probably the second or third game. I think he was a corner the first couple games, and they're like, okay, you're probably the starting running back. He's been the starting running back since he was a freshman. They've lost a lot of players around him in the last 3 years, like O linemen to P4 schools, D linemen to P4 schools, DBs, linebackers. Him and Des Brisbane are really the only two left from that really, really strong class. So he is literally putting this season on his shoulders. I'm a little surprised Chapel Hill is still in it because of all the guys they actually lost. And if they can wind up beating Kilgore, man, they're going to look at another state quarterfinal, state semifinal. Give Jeff Reardon, those guys, a ton of credit. Ricky Stewart has been the bell cow for 3 years, and really this year. Like, this is the year they really needed him, and he's been sensational.
Yeah. And the mental eval, right?
Mental eval is the easiest thing with Ricky because he never talks. And he doesn't like drama. He doesn't waste his words like someone like me. Like he just shuts up and does his job, and he's just now started to open up with me, and I've known the kid for 3 years. Incredible mental eval, but that's the thing with East Texas kids. They don't really like the portal. They don't like the idea of it. They think it's more of a cop-out than anything, and so that's why with a lot of East Texas kids, you're not going to have to worry about the portal, and Ricky Stewart's the type of kid that's just going to – he's like a Trey Wisner. He's going to shut up, show up, and go to work, and if he gets on the field, have fun watching him.
Not like these big city kids.
Trey, dude, if you say a Trey Wisner comp, I'm good with it.
Honestly, that's the mental eval comp.
Yeah, I'm great with that.
That's
ability, a Wisner, and he also runs a little higher, but more speed, bigger size, bigger frame.
Yeah, what's he up to now? What's Stewart's weight and height?
Stewart's about 195.
He looks bigger than that, and this is even as a junior.
Yeah, well, I mean, in the summer he was 195.
So you know how I talk about the what's up, guys? You know how I talk about he plays the go win the game position?
Yeah.
Doesn't Chapel Hill have two of those guys with Brisbane and Stewart?
Yes. It's and Brisbane just signed with Baylor earlier today.
That Chapel Hill backfield is the go win the game position. So those guys know what it's like to have everything put on their shoulders and responsibility. And I like seeing the he's not just breaking everything to the corner and running around everybody.
That's the game. That Palestine game was the game Alexander and I went to, where there was 2 fights in the first half. That was there were like 21 penalties, total penalties in that game. It was ugly. And like Joe says, the go win the position. Everyone Chapel Hill plays knows they're running the ball. It's going to be Brisbane, Stewart, Brisbane. Yet they still collect yards. Yet they still move chains. Everyone and their brother knows they're going to run the football. And what do? They still score.
Have y'all talked much about what's going on nationally? Just any
you saw Lincoln Cure did not flip to Oregon. He stuck with Kansas State. I thought that was big. Dallas Wilson did not flip to Florida. He stuck with Oregon. I thought that one was big too.
We have people talking about Kellen Wiley in the chat. Kellen Wiley to Miami. Wiley to Miami. He's wearing a Miami shirt. So we'll check in on that real quick.
It might be one of those things where Miami comes in late last night and wowed him, or what I've learned in going to these events, they'll wear one shirt, like Warren Robertson wore a TCU shirt to his Texas announcement. And then he takes it off Superman style. So we'll have to wait and see with Kellen. Texas was in a great spot last night, but Miami was not letting up. So it'll be interesting.
He's going Miami.
He picked Miami.
He picked Miami.
We were waiting. We had to wait for one, right?
I don't remember if I watched him or not.
That's a commit story. An edit I'm willing to send to sell. If anybody likes to buy those, I've got one of those on Kellen Wiley. It's yours.
Yeah.
Just first viewer that wants it, I'll send it right to you.
Kind of had NFL measurables, really long arms, good frame he could build into, good movement ability. He would have been a good guy.
He was a bigger version of Ty Anthony Smith, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Maybe not as instinctual, but definitely as violent and as athletic.
Should we? How much behind the scenes stuff, cutting room floor, can we reveal on here?
Oh yeah, I
don't know. I want to know because I've been up since 5 o'clock and I'm on fumes already. So I'll let it all out.
I mean, we had stuff ready for this channel. You never always know the 100% answer in recruiting, but we were prepared for him to pick the burnt orange instead of the bright orange.
I wonder if Miami told him he could play edge, because he looks like he's going to grow into an edge.
I thought that too, Ian. I thought that too. I think Miami just money whipped him. But he's 6'3.5 already, 220, 225. I kind of thought he could be an edge anyway.
When he's sudden.
Let me check out the Miami site, see what they.
Maybe that'll be better for him, and then he won't have to sit behind Colin Simmons and all these other guys.
Did Hayes put out Kellen Wiley yet?
No, I don't think he's the one doing it.
No, I mean, I'm just asking because I was talking to him this morning about Kellen Wiley. So things move pretty fast.
I wonder how much time Hayes gets on some of those, like how fast he has to make the graphics or whatever on some of those.
He has a thing where he can make it within like 2 minutes. He can do it from his phone. He does it from his computer. He does them ahead of time. Yeah. But the player will give him a time, and then usually he'll say, okay, if they say 9 a.m., he'll go, okay, at 8:55, we're going live. Because Hayes wants that break, and they don't have a choice.
Okay, yeah.
The last 20 minutes of highlights, Ricky Stewart is starting to grow on me.
Is he good enough for Michigan, Ian? Hey, they offered him. I forgot about that. They came to East Texas and actually offered him. Mike Hart, former running back coach, actually offered Ricky Stewart.
That's a good sign.
Ooh, Elijah, that's a good one. I remember
that's against Kilgore. There's like 6 college players on that defense, including Michigan signee Jaden Sanders. Damn, Ian, this is all coming around to Michigan.
Elijah, I'm trying to think of what the best edition of the uncommitted would be. for that series. We had remember Jahari Rogers who went to Florida?
The Florida kid. Yeah.
We updated his commit story about 30 times in 1 year.
What about Hullaby? Jaden Hullaby. Remember that one?
What's another good one? There's a lot of really good.
I can't remember which Hullaby it was, Jaden or Landon. The one that didn't go to Texas.
Landon.
Okay.
All right. So
thank you, Jacob.
I'm curious about Wiley. I thought Maryland was the perceived number 2, and that a lot of that had to do with his teammate, right?
Right. A lot of people associate that, and for good reason, because there's some of that. That's why Jamie French, there was so much buzz with him in Florida. He's got 2 teammates that are headed to Florida, but he had to tell Napier his home was no longer in Florida. His address had already changed to the 512. Therefore, the teammate thing wasn't going to work.
Yeah. Yeah. I love Jamie French, dude. That kid on the mic, he's awesome, dude.
He is going to be a kid Texas puts out post-game religiously.
Dude, yeah, 100%. 100%. Good on the mic. You can trust him on the mic too, right? Not just good on the mic, like cutting takes, scaring Bianco to death, like smart on the mic as well.
Hey, DeCorian Moore signed. Speaking of unpublished stories, DeCorian Moore signs with Oregon.
Damn,
man, I remember that was a fun. Well, fun is your relative term. Fun July 4th. As soon as I saw the green smoke on that one, I see one in the chat. What's going on with Barnes? Barnes is at 10 a.m. That's what we've been told.
Hicks has been playing with Colorado a little bit. We're checking on that one. And Sharma's a West Coast kid. He might be on Wingo time this morning, which is a couple hours behind everyone else.
I thought he's like 4:30, right? Isn't Sharma
4:30? We had a
right,
coach.
but I'm saying his he could officially be signed, could be sent in the next hour or so.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're gonna wait for him to announce it for them to be, because usually they try to get all that out before they do the show. The LHN show or whatever at 2, but it could wait till 4:30.
I was watching the Coleman brothers against Duncanville last night for just a little bit, and I noticed Duncanville has another future D1 P5 kind of guy at receiver besides DeCorian Moore.
Zachary Turner.
Yeah,
he might be a tight end. He's
big. Do we think that Greg Abbott is funneling money and players into Duncanville? Because it's like, I see the talent they have on that team, and it's like, who's even gonna?
Vouchers going wrong.
Hey, don't disparage Reggie Samples. He doesn't need state government help to do that job.
No, he doesn't. And don't be surprised if they get an East Texas quarterback in the next few months.
They're crazy, dude.
It's
crazy to be that dominant at the high school level. It's like
I think it's great because Samples went like 30 years without winning any of this stuff.
Yeah. And
that was always, could he win the big game? Now, I don't think he can lose.
I was going to say, now it's like.
And they kept thinking, well, you need to retire. I talked to Rashad a while back, his son, when's he going to retire? He said, man, he's on a heater right now. He doesn't want to get off. He wanted to retire like 5 years ago. And then it was like, well, I can win another one. So he's just stacking rings at this point.
Goal for the number 1 class, still reachable after losing that one to Miami. I mean, he was never in the class, so it hasn't factored into our number 1.
Right.
So we're still at number 1. What Justin was saying is that Bama might lose somebody, drop out of that 2 spot. If Georgia gets Justice Terry on Friday, Georgia will likely be at that 1 spot. So it could end up with Texas at kind of 2 right now, you think?
2 or 3.
Is there anybody else big Texas is in for besides Terry that might?
Michael Fasusi.
Yeah, Fasusi.
That one is more realistic than Terry, and they're really in it with Terry. But Fasusi he's struggling right now. He's trying to make the right decision, and his struggle is a good sign for Texas fans.
Yeah, of course.
Because he is so devout to Oklahoma. He is so into Bill Bedenbaugh and wanting to come there. Got a clear path to the field next year. Has a great relationship there. Remember, they took his good buddy Sean Oliver, the preferred walk-on. Well, he signed with Air Force, so he's no longer on a scholarship. So he's no longer going to be in Norman. There's a lot of little factors there that I think could make up something.
All right, guys, I've been on for about 2 hours. I'm gonna run to the restroom real quick, and then I'll be right back.
You could have sent
Well,
one of those LC.
I know how to-
notes.
I know.
I sent it in the notes, but the fans can know. Okay.
Oh, okay.
We're very open. We're all family here, dude. But I'll be right back. Y'all chat real quick.
Yeah, that's what
I'll leave you
does.
guys.
He's
I'll leave
with
you guys
the
to
door
debate this. This is an important point.
Connor's in the peas with the door open stage of this relationship.
Michael Terry. So Terry he's not going to be the punter. But man,
he's a good punter.
No, I'm joking.
He's a good pooch punter.
Somebody get Justin.
Isn't Terry the punter for Alamo Heights?
Yes, but that's not because he's a great punter.
I know. You know who else is a great punter? Decorian Moore. Great punter. He was a soccer player growing up. Kid is an outstanding punter.
You know that just about all of these elite athletes could be amazing punters if they wanted to, and they don't. You know, Sam Ellinger used to punt for Westlake all the time.
Yeah, but that was more the Danny White fourth down.
Yeah.
But you line up in an offensive formation and then you pooch it left or right.
If someone like that, if Sam Ellinger really wanted to be good at punting, he could do that. But it's like you don't need you to do that. Somebody else will handle it. You
could be a great linebacker. Sam Ellinger can do whatever he wants. He could have been a great linebacker.
That's what David Ash tried. But anyway,
Ash was a good punter.
What are some of the guys that I mean, we've been talking for 2 hours. I know we just tuned in, but what are some of the guys, Ian, that maybe haven't been touched on, haven't seen film for quite yet?
I was trying to remember who my top 5 were.
You were talking about the Coleman brothers a little bit and watching what they had done against Duncanville.
They're just a couple of big dudes.
So I have a running list of who we've all watched. So let me give you guys a.
Hey, he's back.
Yeah, I'm back. So we can watch Myron Charles, Caleb Chester, KJ Lacey, the Coleman brothers, James Simon, Jackson Christian, Jonathan Cunningham. What would you guys enjoy viewing?
I mean, I'm going to lean quarterback because I really enjoy watching Lacey's film.
Okay, let's do KJ Lacey then.
I haven't watched.
We're gonna hit everybody.
Hey, and you know what? People thought his numbers were going to dip when he lost Ryan Williams, and I was one of the first people to say that. And buddy, I was wrong. I was real wrong. That dude went on another level.
Give us the no Ryan Williams film.
Okay, I have junior saved. I'll pull his senior tape real quick after this. Yeah. But until then, let's get a comparison going. How about that?
Fine.
Yes, this is a shorter version of Diabell.
Fine.
This is the 5'10" version of Diabell.
See if you can find Ryan Williams.
Yeah. Wonder if you'll see Ryan Williams on tape here. Got a question. Wiley to Miami, surprised? Yes, I am surprised.
Not on signing day.
Yeah, but I am surprised.
Miami had taken some pretty hard hits in the last few weeks, so I think they were due to win one.
One thing about Saraland is that it's a Mobile area school, and they play in the highest classification. I think there's a 7A in Alabama, and that's what they play in. And you saw one of the highlights of Lacey playing at Bryant-Denny. They rotate between Bryant-Denny and I think Jordan Hare for the state championship game. So he has led Saraland to state finals appearances. I think they're on their way again. I've always liked Lacey. I don't think anybody should expect him to be this giant armed guy, kind of like Arch is, but he's someone who I was always impressed by his decision making. Like you see him process, go through reads, even though the read usually gets to Ryan Williams and throw. But I was always impressed by the fact that it was, you see him make a 1 look, 2 look, and then throw.
Yeah.
Because there are a lot of quarterbacks who just throw, bam. See, like that's a second read.
Maybe. Woodyard is right. He's a Sundance Kid 2.0 on a lot of these. Throwing off the back foot, throwing on the move, which is doesn't have to be a bad thing. Like that's very valuable when you can do that.
Boy, he bailed on that one and still got the ball out.
Yeah.
But I like your feet moving if you're fast.
His eyes are always downfield, guys.
I don't like you throwing off the back foot if you can't evade anyone.
His eyes are always downfield.
He's not fast. He's probably got Quinn's speed.
He's quicker though.
He's definitely quicker than Quinn.
Right, but I mean, just straight line speed. He's not.
I don't care about that. I'm talking about avoiding pass rush.
Yeah.
Fair, yeah.
He's very good at that, and keeps his feet set, and keeps his shoulders squared, and keeps his eyes down the field. That's a Sark tutorial right here.
Quinn has the most useless kind of speed, which is when he's like alone down the sideline, he can actually get behind you, unless he steps out of bounds because he doesn't think he's going to get a block.
He doesn't trust Golden to block.
That doesn't come up very.
Had about a 70-yard touchdown run against A&M.
It doesn't come up very often at quarterback.
See, that's what I want to see. Just little things like that.
Yeah.
Not even the scramble, like just the rollout ability to move.
He's got a little. Who was that smaller quarterback? Jeff Garcia. Little Jeff Garcia-ish.
Big arm though. Garcia had a big arm. Wasn't he married to like a Playboy playmate or something?
So that's your beat. I don't know.
I remember it came in the mail. You sent it to me. I didn't like it.
Lacey played in.
Look at that. You can't recreate that, but hell yeah.
At least on Max Preps, it says he's played in 11 games, and so
that sounds right.
He has good down throwing though for being
25 times a game.
I actually watched Jeff Garcia in a game live in 2000 when the 49ers played the Cowboys. It was the game where Terrell Owens spiked the ball on the star.
Oh, yeah.
And then he tried to do it again, but George T came out of nowhere and leveled him, and then the fight was on.
How's his accuracy? He looks accurate.
Yeah.
Very.
That's
you got
important.
that senior film yet?
60.
Yeah, I got it, but we're this one's about to be done, and we'll watch it.
Oh, okay.
Ian's not playing around. He doesn't buy anything with Ryan Williams.
His seniors.
No, I
stats have 63%.
I agree with Joe that even when he had Ryan Williams, it felt like he actually was making reads, and he would get. Sometimes I'd see him make decisions and go to second or third targets, and then just get totally burned because they wouldn't catch it.
These QBs got heart though, man. I mean, you got Arch, Owens, Lacey, Diabell coming up behind. Like, it's a hell of a room.
Hey. This is really fascinating on Jeff George. I'm sorry, I went down a rabbit hole. Do you know what his heritage is?
Who are you talking about?
6'1" Jeff George.
Who? What?
Oh God. He lost 4 siblings. He's had 4 siblings pass away.
He's talking about the quarterback.
Crazy.
You're talking about this one?
He married the Playboy Miss April
Jeff Garcia.
2003.
You're talking about Jeff George.
No, he's talking about Jeff George is a big gunner from Atlanta and the Colts. Jeff Garcia was
KJ Lacey senior film.
Are you sure that detour wasn't necessary? All right, let's look.
Carmela D.
So we don't have full season. We got mid-season highlights from old Lacey.
All right.
And I think he had an injury this year too that caused him to miss
a couple games. He missed at least one game. I want to say it was his hand, but we never found out for sure.
It's only the first 3 games here, apparently.
Marcus Harris to Washington. I didn't know if he was going to have a spot.
See that? He got out of a pickle there. That's the kind of speed you want a quarterback.
He kind of had to stop for that one, but whatever. If you're that wide open, who cares?
Yes, yeah. Do they have a single leading receiver that stands out this year?
They have somebody. Let me look. I can find the stats.
How many passes of Lacey's are sidearms? No concern considering his height. When he was down in the red zone there, he was actually getting over on the ball on some important stuff. This is kind of 3-quarter motion, but In the red zone on the last tip, he was actually getting over the ball and not lofting it, which I thought was good.
There are concerns over his height. You can see him stay. You see him stay back in the pocket, and he doesn't want to step up.
Yeah, and that's why you get probably a lot of the rollouts too, give you clearer vision.
You can also like Kyler Murray would do that at Oklahoma, and nobody ever touched that little fellow.
You want to talk about fast and quick.
Dude, Kyler Murray, man. Sheesh.
Murray's
Look at this game, man.
Murray's a different level athlete.
Mud Bowl. What a hideous field.
What a dime.
Yeah.
All right.
A little bit behind there, but all right.
So Saraland has 3 receivers averaging over 85 yards a game. Carson Gill, Dylan Alfred, and Deshaun Spencer. One is going to
sounds like
Carson
Highland Park, and South Oak Cliff.
Yep.
One is an FBS player.
Ooh, that was a quick throw.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's important
but he slings it some too, and with his arm slot, with his height, he might get bit a little bit on getting the ball knocked down.
Yeah, he's gonna get tipped, but we get tipped already.
6'2.5", and he gets tipped on like it's his job.
Yeah, I mean Quinn gets tipped 3 times a game too, so we'll have to kind of deal with that.
And it's that arm slot.
Yeah,
it's everybody wants to go off platform instead of just staying level.
It's the cool.
He's also got an Ole Miss commit this year on his team at receiver.
Okay. Do you know what number it is?
That receiver made a play.
This is one of the best high schools in Alabama. They're going to have talent.
Yeah, of course.
This is kind of like the talent he has now. It looks kind of like a given Southlake Carroll or Westlake quarterback, where it's like maybe a couple guys that are pretty good, but not Ryan Williams kind of people.
The kind of receivers.
Of course, they don't have Ryan Williams.
They were all
good
high school receivers, just not college level guys.
Yeah.
How good is Lacey's O-line? Is he behind a ridiculously good O-line, or does he have good experience with pressure? I have no idea.
If you're watching the tape right now, pressure doesn't seem to bother him much.
Yeah. My only fear would be if somebody does to him like Georgia did to Quinn, where they're just racing around the edge and they're not worried about him stepping up in the pocket, then there could be.
But he throws some really nice fastballs on those slants, man, like that we don't have right now currently in the arsenal. Like just Arch does that too. But right there, like that's what that quickness is important on the inside game.
He's also much harder to catch than Quinn.
Yeah. But he did a Quinn move right there, jumped in the air and threw it.
All right, here we go. Let's see how many roster. There we go.
We have 13,000 viewers across all platforms. Thank you guys for tuning in. If you're on YouTube, like, subscribe. If you're on Twitter, retweet us, please. And I believe if you're on Facebook, just Facebook around. Just keep booking.
Is that a term? Facebook around?
No, I just don't like it on Facebook. I'm not on Facebook, so I don't even know how it works anymore.
I've never been on Facebook. I
haven't been on Facebook since I was a senior in high school.
Saraland has 5 guys in this 5 guys on this team who have at least like a star ranking, and then a handful more who have profiles. And none of them are offensive linemen.
How are you feeling from junior to senior, Ian?
Pretty good. This is good. Lacey's like a classic kind of guy who's just hell on college defenses because he makes good decisions and he's hard to tackle.
Yeah.
So he's not even like he's not at all a typical Sark kind of guy. Like Arch Manning and Trey Owens you're more like your prototypical Sark dudes. Obviously Lacey is much more like Bryce Young or much more like an air raid kind of guy. So I think that could be kind of fun.
He's definitely got some Bryce Young to him. He just doesn't have Bryce Young size hands.
I wish he were a Texas kid doing that just for the state deal, but because Texas
he transferred to Duncanville anyway.
What was the time for Barnes, Joe?
10 a.m.
10 a.m. So we got Barnes coming up.
Yeah, he's doing it on his terms.
Lacey's recruitment, just how he kind of popped up literally out of the blue.
No,
I didn't think we were going to bring that up, Joe, since we were last on that one. But I'm glad that you're rehashing it.
No, On 3 had it. We had help from Hayes. But I mean, you look at. I'm trying to see how many quarterbacks were offered in that class because Sark is super.
4. Yeah, I think Lacey was the third or fourth.
Let's see. But yeah, I mean, he visited June of 2022 or June of 23.
Coach is here.
In 22. He committed in 23.
Coach is here. It's time to take it up a notch. Coach, give us your 3 guys most likely to just end up transferring when they can't start.
Oh, wait a minute now. Yo,
don't do it. Don't
touch
do
my
it.
thing to that one.
Okay, so this is.
I'm going to find Lacey. I'm going to find Lacey's visit history for you, Joe, real quick.
But this is a key thing. Texas, at least On 3 has 3 quarterbacks listed as being offered by Texas in the 25 class. One was Bryce Underwood, which I think you and I could have picked that out.
So close.
The other was Julian Lewis, who is a 2026 guy who reclassified, and so I think just still technically has that offer listed. So I think Lacey was the next choice after Bryce Underwood.
He was the third offer. He was the third. They loved Julian.
But Julian was 26. They offered him as a 26.
I know, but I think there was an expectation that he was going to reclassify. Kind of like Zealous Hicks. There was kind of an expectation. Actually, with Julian, I think it was more known that because he was really young for his grade. Again, how that kid went to Colorado blows my mind. But you know what? To each his own. But to Joe's point, Sark doesn't offer very many quarterbacks. How many did he offer in 23?
1.
How many did he offer in 22?
Just there are a couple more other than Malik.
Right. There's only a few because he's very judicious with his offers when it comes
to
Devin
Brown year? I can't remember.
That was the year before.
Yeah, that was now he threw out some offers his first year, just trying to see what could stick. And I think the Devin Brown thing to Ohio State actually helped with Quinn and coming to Texas. I think there was some little overlap there, maybe. But that's Sark. He's very particular with his quarterbacks, and that's a good thing to have.
Russell never got an offer.
And remember with Lacey, Auburn pushed and pushed and pushed. Ole Miss pushed and pushed. Yeah. Auburn kept pushing until they talked Deuce Knight into cashing that big check.
Yeah.
And so they were around the rim a lot. Auburn was really into him there for about a year.
He would have died at one of those schools. They would have just run him.
Oh, dude, Hugh Freeze would have. He'd been a corpse.
Yeah.
He'd be watching games up there with him from a hospital bed, just giving the.
That's true. They'd be right next to each other.
Yeah.
How does this class compare to the 2023 class? Both feel like championship level classes. I feel like our fits are really good. I need more defensive tackle if I say championship level. But if we end up at second or third or whatever, the gap's also closing, right? It doesn't feel like number 1 is like a mile ahead like it felt with Bama and Georgia. Like everyone has similar kind of 5-star range. So I think it's a smaller gap too. Being number 1 normally would mean you were way ahead. It doesn't feel like that anymore.
Let's not lie to parking. This is the greatest class Texas has ever signed in the history of the program. Everybody send in those super chats and we'll explain how many championships this team is about to win as a result. Justin.
Guaranteed.
Yes. Hey, coverage isn't a nickel has a good point. But,
who transfers first, Trey Owens or KJ Lacey?
I knew you were going to do something brutal.
I'm touching that. This is a good question from Tyler King. Did they not officially offer Keelan Russell? No, they did not. They looked at him. They really liked him. But they really liked Lacey, and so they Sark said, "This is the guy I brought to the dance, so this is who I'm going to dance with." And so, listen, I would have been happy with a Keelan Russell offer and/or flip. Keelan Russell's one of the best quarterbacks in the country, but he had Lacey. It made sense.
Right before the spring game, there was a Elite 11 regional at Westlake.
Yes, you were there.
And Lacey came out to Austin to compete in it. And Russell was there. And so, like the storyline, there were a bunch of Texas recruiting reporters there. I was there. It was like,
Texas going to take 2? It's like you're not going to get.
And it's like, so are you cool with us? Are you cool with Texas taking 2? Or are you cool? Like it's awkward, but you got to find out. But Keelan, I think Keelan was interested, but I just don't think they wanted to dance around everything and maybe end up with no birds and no hands.
Yeah.
I think also the connection to Decory and Moore had some influence there as well. Thinking, hey, if you took this, you could probably get that. There's always that mindset going into big recruitments like that. But if they would have stood on the table and really pushed for Keelan, I think they would have given him something to think about. I think that recruitment could have really taken off. But he just found a spot with Kalen DeBoer. He loves that guy, and he's really happy with Bama.
It'll be interesting to watch them going forward. Adam,
I think he's going to be
10 a.m. for Barnes.
Yeah.
Man, people are focused on Barnes, man. I didn't realize how important he was to the chat. That's good, though.
It's better than oversleeping.
Who do you think was the most obsessed on recruit? Like it was DJ Campbell a couple of years ago. Like every question was like DJ Campbell.
Arch Manning.
Yeah, of course. But I'm like, who do you think this cycle was the one that the fans were like most obsessed with? I didn't feel like there was a crazy. I feel like it's more Decorian. I feel like Fasusi's an obsession too.
Fasusi, but that fell off a little bit when he committed to Oklahoma.
Yeah,
but there was some build up there. But to me, I think it was the most talked about was Decory.
Definitely Decory.
Yeah,
and that was in that. Listen, guys, you talk about they dodged a bullet on that one. They dodged a big bullet on that one. Let Oregon overpay. Let them do that. That's fine.
You know who was probably the least talked about, as odd as it sounds, is Lance Jackson.
I know, dude. For a 5-star super edge, dude.
He just doesn't like attention. He doesn't crave it. And so you don't see him on social media a lot talking up offers and visits and things of that sort. He is the same kid I met 4 years ago, just bigger and nicer. Like he is so down to earth. It's crazy how down to earth he is.
Yeah. Connor, explain what a super edge is.
It's my new rating system. If you're a 5-star plus and I like you, you become a super edge. It's a Super Saiyan. It's a form of Super Saiyan.
Is Jonah Williams a super safety?
Yes, he is.
If he wants to be.
Yeah, if he wants to be.
Super safety, yeah.
This makes perfect sense to me then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How many O-line are we taking in this class? And this is a good way for me to segue into some of our O-line tape. Let's view the brothers.
They punted on offensive tackle in this cycle, but that's okay because Charlie and I were talking about this. There are 4 linemen in Dallas-Fort Worth, offensive tackles that could be great for Texas in 2026, led by the esteemed 5-star John Turntine, Max Wright, Felix Ojo, Zayden Crimpin. There are some legit dudes in the tackle class. So if the people are saying, where are the tackles in 2025? They're all in 2026.
Yeah.
Who's that last one again? Say that name again.
Zayden Crimpin.
Yeah.
Prosperous.
I love
that kid should be a wide receiver with a name like that.
Yep.
Well, if it could until you see him, and then you're like, wait a minute,
No,
you're 6'5", 290. You're not a wide receiver.
Pimpin with Crimpin.
All right, let's watch.
That's my lead.
Let's fire up some Jordan.
He plays for the O-line at Prosper. Big
Crimpin. Big Crimpin.
Big Crimpin. Can't you see?
Yeah.
All right. So what number is Devin's like 58?
Yeah.
Which one is which?
Devin's 58 and Jordan's 77. Does that sound right?
Yeah, that's 77.
Neither one are tackles.
Well, it's literally going to tell us.
Well, that's 77.
Yeah, 77.
He just tackled his running back there.
Oh, the twins pulling on the same play. That's pretty cool.
That
is it? Maybe not.
He's got good aggression, man. Dude, he'll get flags and everything. Let's do it.
There's some friendly fire going on in this tape.
Look at it.
Can you imagine that one of them hitting the other one in the huddle, go at each other? You're supposed to go that way. And then they have another brother that's walking on, correct, Charlie?
Yeah. Isaiah, he's a defensive lineman.
Well, there you go. Connor needed D lineman.
He had a Tech offer too, right?
Yeah, but Texas Tech offered everybody. They offer kids on the JV.
True.
I like his nastiness, man.
Which one?
The one we're watching, 77.
Ooh.
I still don't know.
We're watching 77. It keeps literally pointing him out.
Which one is that, Devin or Jordan?
That's 68 that they just pointed at.
This is Devin. This is Jordan. Jordan.
You don't know.
Yeah, I have it labeled. Jordan Coleman's
their
junior.
Parents don't even know, so it's okay.
Yeah, it's Jordan. According to my elite labeling of the file.
There he goes, crash and burn.
Because this is a real interior heavy class. Y'all think we've kind of tossed around the ideas of portal needs, like maybe one of the first times that Texas thinks about the portal for O-line, isn't it?
Yeah. You're gonna lose both tackles. You're gonna lose everyone, actually. So
I don't know about DJ.
Yeah, I agree. You'll keep right guard. So yeah,
you'll have Cole Hudson, who's a starter-ish.
Cole Hudson can go to center, right? Cole Hudson is center.
Cole will play center until Daniel Cruz is ready.
Yeah, Cole to center. Gooseby at left tackle. Baker at right tackle.
Baker at right tackle. The thing that's open is going to be left guard.
It's going to be Neto versus who do you think?
Probably Neto.
Yeah.
They could also, what's easy to find in the portal are centers.
There's actually one just hit a pretty good one. I think the Central Florida kid.
You could get a pretty good center, and then you just play the best two of Hudson, Neto, and Campbell at guard.
Yeah.
Probably Hudson and Campbell. Maybe Neto can play right tackle.
Look, the UCF kid, Caden Kittler, former goalie, hockey national junior team, he can play.
That's what I'm talking about.
Go get that kid then.
If he plays hockey,
I was gonna say, get him.
Yeah, sold.
Yeah,
just like Ethan Burke and lacrosse.
Yeah.
Wait, what's his name?
Caden Kittler. That's a CADEN.
There might be some interest there.
Is this the first O-line that we looked at?
This
we looked at 67.
We looked at Nick Brooks. At Nick Brooks, but this is the second O-line we've watched.
Gotcha.
We don't need to watch
Jackson Christian. We still have Devin Coleman.
Yeah,
because I've got a question about Jackson Christian. Honestly,
we'll pull him in. We can put him in the middle of the brothers. Can't wait until the other brother turns in a Broughton-like performance his senior year. Mark it down.
Do we have to watch both brothers? Aren't we watching them both every play anyway?
I don't. Well, but they're not always highlighting at the same time.
Remember, they're running into each other sometimes, so you got to be careful which one's which.
Yeah,
it would be incredible if they were able to match highlights. They were that.
Jackson Christian might be the safest one of all these guys. The safest take. That dude is steady. He's country strong. He's got good size, not great, but good size. He's technically sound. He plays at a great powered program. He's a guy that I think comes in and could plug in a year with strength and conditioning. And honestly, maybe the best take of the O-lineman in this class.
Are y'all at liberty to discuss John Mills? Was it a true flip or was it a process or
no? It was a true flip. He just wanted to stay closer to home.
Okay.
It came down to staying closer to home, and Washington had built a really good relationship with him even before he committed to Texas. And so sometimes kids towards the end they want to stay closer. Sometimes Washington makes the deal a little sweeter. I don't think Texas processing though.
Okay.
Actually, Mills, I really like John Mills. I really like that kid. He didn't have very good reach, but he had some tackle potential. He
was young. 16? But you've already got one of those in Andre Kojo. I don't know.
You do.
Yeah.
You don't need to stack those, I don't feel like.
And
Where was he
Kojo,
at?
I don't give that dude some credit. I didn't think Kojo was going to make it.
Was he St. John Ignatius? Is that where he was at? Mills?
St. Ignatius College Prep.
Okay.
College Preparatory in San Francisco.
I just start combining all the Catholic sounding names.
Paul Waddlington's favorite town in America, San Francisco.
Yeah, he
loves the politics in that city.
Yeah, absolutely. About it. Yeah, he loved it there. Ask Paul about it. You guys want to watch?
Him and Ian are going to jump in on the next deep dive.
This is going to be fun. Turntine or Fasusi better prospect?
I'm not either one.
Yeah, nope.
Fasusi might be a better pass blocker. I'm giving Turntine all the love on run blocking. Turntine's meaner. He's got a nastier disposition. Fasusi's a really nice guy. Turntine is too, but not like Michael.
Was Michael, I'm assuming Michael Terry, a real surprise to sign with Texas? No, that was one of the least surprising.
Not as of 6 months ago.
Yeah, we've been waiting to send that stuff live for every 20 minutes since like September, right?
He was in after that June official visit. And what's crazy is we saw him at the On3 Elite Series in Nashville, and Texas wasn't really pushing at that time. We didn't think he was going to wind up in this class. Nebraska, Texas Tech, Oregon were making credible pushes. And then they brought him in for that official visit. Chris Gilbert was the primary on that one, and it just blew him out of the water. A.J. Milwee did a tremendous job selling him on playing offense, not just defense. That conversation changed the entire recruitment. And from then on, it was Texas versus the field.
Good stuff. Jackson.
Offense is everywhere, but where Cade McNamara is in the portal.
Is he? Dude, I love that every single portal is breaking. I think
I hate that.
Cracks me up, dude.
Who's in the portal, you said?
The
Bryce Underwood.
The bad Iowa quarterback.
McNamara still has eligibility?
Somehow, some way.
He was at Michigan too, I think.
So here's my take on Jackson Christian. This could be the center of the class.
Yes.
Okay.
I agree.
Yeah, you did say that before.
He's smart. He's technically sound.
This is Roshan Johnson School, right?
Yep.
Yes. And Jalen Garth.
Is Jalen Garth, he's at UTSA now?
Yeah.
Or Houston.
No, he went to UTSA. I think he started.
Yeah.
So they got him at left
tackle. The head coach that was at P&G, Brandon Faircloth with Rashawn, he is now at Sulphur Springs. And they made a little run in the playoffs this year. They got a 2026 offensive tackle that looks really nice.
So, and then Ian, you'll like this. You know how you love your Katy Tigers. Gary Joseph's son is the head coach. Actually,
yeah, that was a feature in Dave.
He told me in that last year when they won state.
Oh, I got it somewhere.
Yeah. It's the feature. It's the feature article in the last Dave Campbell Texas preseason mag. They tell their story.
I'll tell you one thing: P&G will not beat themselves.
No.
You have to whip them up front, and you really probably won't do that.
I can't find my Dave Campbell.
It's going to be a good game this weekend.
They had a good feed
they got Liberty Hill a couple times in the last few playoffs, and that would be the.
It almost mirrors Liberty Hill in a sense with just having really big, coordinated, fundamentally sound linemen.
No, like Liberty Hill doesn't have big, Liberty Hill has little linemen.
Right, but I'm talking about in the last 4 or 5 years.
No, they had.
This guy's like 6'5", 290. Liberty Hill's linemen look like me, and I'm 6 foot 210.
They did that at the state championship a couple years ago.
Yeah,
that's the thing. They did.
No, their guards are always like 180 pounds.
Ian has become the biggest Liberty Hill fan I've seen. I've heard Liberty Hill more times in my life this season. And Ian loves the scheme too, baby.
The craziest thing about Liberty Hill is their color, their team colors. Because if you look at it with your eyes, you see a certain tone. You take a photo with your camera, it's a completely different color.
It's the dress meme.
It is so weird how that works.
It's like a really dark purple, right?
Yes.
And so it looks like almost like
camera is red.
Oh, really? That's interesting.
So I'm looking through PNG's schedule just to try to see where they're at. I saw some people mention they play what's it called?
Did they beat Texas High?
They beat Texas High.
That was a really good Texas High team too. Really,
they're not facing the most challenging fare, I feel like, but they beat them, and they beat them good. And South Oak Cliff's going to be the
look. Those are two teams you got to beat if you want to make a run at state. You're going to have to knock out Texas High. You're going to have to knock out South Oak Cliff. I like seeing Sock making a little run. I thought they were going to take a step back this year. I was wrong.
I think it's at Justin. I think it's at SFA.
It is.
Yeah.
What do we think here, fellas? How much does Michael Terry III and 3 wide receivers lessen the blow of losing DK Moore? I mean, definitely lessens the blow.
That's why you got the guys you did and signed Michael Terry.
Yeah. And Texas got all of them guys for less than what Oregon paid more.
Yeah. That was fun watching that commitment live. You were there, weren't you, Coach?
Yeah, I don't want to talk about that one.
Coach, okay. Give them one story from that event. Give them the grandmother story.
I know a good tidbit. Remember, Thamel messed it up. So how was Thamel received in the household?
So I got 2 stories there. When Thamel posted that, his mom got mad. I mean, she started throwing stuff. Like, what? You broke this story? We don't even know this guy. It's like, okay, stop it. But the second story is everybody went outside to do the fireworks and left grandma behind. I helped grandmother out. And by the time I got outside, green smoke was everywhere.
I was saying too, it's got to be hard to find orange smoke fireworks. So it's maybe just a practical.
Connor, it gets better. When I asked him, I said, what happened with grandma? He goes, as soon as I saw green smoke, I said, forget grandma, I'm not left.
I thought he burned his hand too on that.
She's still out on the curb.
Yeah. That thing was brutal, man. That was not a fun day.
DK's mom got so mad when Thamel did that. Well, guess what? Guess who told Thamel?
The agent.
His agent.
Yeah.
Well, don't get mad at Pete. Get mad at the guy, the agent that was doing all the dealings.
But also remember, I think Thamel thought when he said he was announcing, he was going to announce, and it turned into this very long, elaborate live.
He tried to say he had a scheduled tweet, and it came out by accident. He was trying to explain it. I don't know. It was, I got out of there though. It took forever to get outside. It was a long walk from the kitchen to outside to the front yard, and it was like, gosh.
Yeah. Grandmother is still sitting out on that porch, waiting for Charlie to put her back in the house. It's been like 6 months.
Runs the slot T.
Yes.
Okay, so this is I tweeted about this. I have no idea about this. But would Texas look at a running back like Ahmad Hardy from ULM, the freshman that they had that we played against this year that just went in the portal, or they look for bigger fish there? I have no idea. I just know I like Ahmad Hardy.
Bigger fish.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Not I think they would want not necessarily bigger fish, but more experienced.
Yeah.
Okay. More experienced fish.
Like him, yes. Him with the portal's not even open yet. Yeah. Ahmad
Hardy is cool though. As soon as I saw him, broke him down earlier in the season, I was like, he will not be at ULM past this year at all. He's going to get poached immediately.
Any news on Justice Terry? Friday. I think it's 11 a.m., 10 a.m., 11 a.m. That's when you will get the best news. We will probably try to post an update here soon at Inside Texas. Georgia's still going to be the school that's leading, but Texas is not letting up, and they really, really want him.
Justin, what town would you compare Manchester, Georgia to, where Terry is from?
Timpson, Texas. Probably 1,200 people, maybe. Blink, and you miss it. They have a coffee shop on the website, but it's not really a coffee shop. It's a hardware store that's only open on Saturdays. Joe and I were going back and forth that morning trying to find Wi-Fi to get a Justice Terry story up. He's looking up coffee shops for me online, and I'm sitting in front of. He's like, "Go to this coffee shop," and I'm standing and going. It's closed at noon on a Tuesday. It's closed.
Guys, guess the Coleman brother. If we've eliminated one, this is going to be Devin Coleman.
Yeah,
this will round out our offensive line.
That's impressive.
Great catch by Devin. There.
Yeah.
Did we answer? I don't know if we ever answered Jacob directly here on.
Fullback here.
Yes. They do that a few times with him, actually.
I think it was Jacob. Somebody asked how many O-line in the class. It's going to end up being both Coleman brothers,
4.
Jackson Christian, and then Nick Brooks, right?
And in case they flip Fiduciary would be the oldest muster at 5.
Yeah.
Rumble, big man Rumble. He actually played defensive line first before switching to offensive line, though. Definitely.
They have to if they don't sign another one.
Wonder if he's going to – oh, he didn't pull. I thought that was a big give.
I'm not really sure why they highlighted that play.
Sometimes it's really unique. You can tell, like, who puts their tape together. They're not, like, showing it to scouts. Like, it'll be an athletically impressive play, but it's actually not the correct play or something like that a coach would pick up on.
Who's having fun and looking cool, and who's trying to put their best product.
Dude, remember Arch Manning's tape was like the most practical tape I've ever seen. Just him throwing it out, like nothing. Just like it was like, look, NFL, he can make the basic throw. It wasn't all like deep ball highlights. You can see who understands like what coaches actually want to see.
All right, Barnes is going live on Instagram now.
Dude, Archman. Oh, is Elijah
watch?
Yeah,
he's
going live
watch.
on Instagram.
Well, Joe, tell me when I need to get ready.
Oh no, Miami got him.
I'm gonna tell you what. I don't even want to joke about that because Barnes had such a good year that would hurt my heart.
Yeah. No, Barnes is going live right now. He was. We thought he was going to go earlier, but no, he's about to go right now.
The truth is, Barnes has probably already faxed it in anyway. Faxed it. They don't fax. They take screenshots.
They would have been. You think they're gonna let a top 100 linebacker sit unannounced?
I didn't know the fans felt so strongly about Barnes, dude. That's good.
His senior tape is fantastic.
Fantastic.
He's sending it in right now. So.
Yep, there he goes. He's on the live. Great.
Is the youngest brother going to walk on or something? Or is
yes.
the third?
Yeah.
Okay.
They're triplets, right?
Mm-hmm.
What'd you say?
They're triplets.
Yeah. Yep. All right. That's the end of the offensive line haul as we wait Elijah Bo Barnes. And we have – who do we have left that we haven't watched? We haven't watched
Ellis Hicks, who I do not trust. And Joe
but we're only previewing the guys that have –
who's imperative to be here.
Who's turned their letters in so far. The night crew, y'all will handle the next wave.
Oh, crap. I forgot about that.
No.
The night crew. Wednesday Night Live, baby.
The night man
It'll be short tonight.
Yeah. We have to cover whenever we go off, whoever does in the middle. So we're cover. I can probably move something around and help you guys out with that. All right. Jonathan Cunningham left. James Simon, Caleb Chester, Myron Charles. Who would you guys like?
Myron Charles.
I think he's the highest rated one, right?
Yeah, I like me Myron Charles, man. A lot.
He was the first one in, too.
Yeah, I was really glad we didn't have to do any drama with him. He moves like a sprinter. Like his stance and everything.
Look at her. I love this kid. He got good base, good leverage. Yeah,
he does.
Physical, violent hands.
Got him at nose. Boom. Keeps his leg moving, meets the guy right there. Myron Charles is my favorite in the class, actually.
Him and Sharma are so good.
They are.
Yeah. They'll put him at nose. They'll put him at end. 3-tech. I mean, he can move wherever. The poor running backs. There's nothing you can do in that situation besides can protect the ball.
Yeah.
This pick six is fun.
Yeah, it is.
One-handed grab.
I don't want to say Port Charlotte is rural, but it's not like by anything big. Like it's in the middle. It's in between Tampa and Miami, or in between Tampa and the swamp. Like, it's kind of it's not a big city. So I know people were asking about Tampa level of competition. You don't see very many people of Myron Charles pedigree in Port Charlotte, I feel like.
I want to see his measurables real quick.
There's some Puna Ford to this tape.
Oh, that's a good one.
Alrighty. 6'4", 300. So he's gonna be a nose for us. He has good movement. He's like 3 tech level of movement, but he'll grow into a nose, right?
Is this Charles?
Yeah.
Myron Charles.
I think nose.
He's at 300 now, but he has good movement for a nose, man.
Well, that's the thing, right? In the way PK does it, the nose is often the faster dude. Like Byron Murphy and Vernon Broughton are your last 2 starting nose tackles.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I always mix this up. Does it mean under front?
What'd you say?
It's not worth it.
Are Sharma and Charles both early enrollees? I have no idea. Do you guys know?
Charles is, I think Sharma is too. There's only a few in this class that aren't early enrollees. And I can try to remember if Sharma is or not, but I'm pretty sure Myron Charles is.
It's pretty crazy that's become like the default now.
Makes spring practice a lot easier.
Sure does. Yeah, bodies.
Yay, Barnes is in. All right.
There we go.
Press publish so I can tweet this thing.
Barnes. And y'all, whoever, man, hit up Barnes. Let him know he's beloved. The chat was asking about him all morning.
He has taken the mantle from Ryan Wingo of the sleepy.
Yeah.
Boy, that was fun last year.
Yeah, it was.
Everybody was panicking, and one phone call calmed everybody.
I really like Myron Charles.
Remember, I talked to his dad, Ryan's dad, that morning. I'm like, what is Ryan doing? He's sleeping. Go wake him up.
Athletes need their rest.
So do sports reporters that cover recruiting.
That's true. Man, I like Myron Charles a lot, man. Yes. I know we didn't get haven't likely got the numbers we needed there, but the 2 is assuming Sharma doesn't do something weird. I really do. The 2 we do have in the boat, I feel really good about. Need a little more depth, of course, though. His size compared to the other guys on the line is funny as well.
Florida made a big push at him for a reason.
What'd you say?
Florida made a push for him. Florida State, South Carolina for good reason.
Have we talked about? I know we talked about the Gators a bit, but Florida State.
No, we haven't talked about them because what a devastating when's the last time someone got rated like that and they didn't have a coach get fired, like head coach overturned?
You think rated, but look what they did in the last 2 weeks. They started collecting more guys. Like they started flipping guys. And
Florida
then
State
was on at OC.
Were they flipping guys they wanted or like flipping their second tiers?
Gus Malzahn, though, he runs a different offense than Norvell. That felt like they call Norvell into the office and they're like, we can't afford to just drag you out of here. So this is how it's going to be. You're going to have this money. You're going to get this coach, offensive coordinator. You're going to do what he says. And I think the whole thing is going to flop.
How bad is Oklahoma that Kevin Sperry flips from OU to Florida State? And Florida State has a great freshman quarterback. Like Sperry probably won't see the field for the next 2 years. They have a really good young quarterback. How bad is it, Norman, that Sperry's like, I'll sit the bench in Tallahassee?
Supposedly they didn't want him anymore. That's what everybody says. That's what everybody says when they lose a guy.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Who's making that call? I guess
the offensive coordinator. Or the AT&T guy, I don't know.
Yeah. On a scale of 1 to 10, concern level for Zealous Hicks and Josiah Sharma.
0 for Sharma. I don't trust Hicks. It's not that I don't trust Hicks. That sounds terrible. I don't trust Colorado.
Hicks was the safety of the class, and then they got Jonah Williams. So,
Well, he reclassed.
Yeah, technically it was the other way.
Yeah.
Jonah
would have been the next year's top safety.
Is Deion even going to be there next year, or is he going to go follow his son to Dallas or something?
Who?
Deion Sanders is a former star NFL player who's currently the head coach of the Colorado Buffaloes.
I didn't hear what you said. I didn't know who Deion is.
Is he even going to be there at Colorado next year, or is he going to be like in Dallas?
He's recruiting 5 stars like he's going to be.
I don't think Deion's method works for the NFL, and I think he knows that. I think he can have full control. He can run things basically however he wants at Colorado. And in the NFL, he's got a GM, a president of football ops, an owner that will tell him.
Do you think Florida State, or he's got a weird relationship with Florida State?
It wouldn't be Florida State.
Yeah.
He would be the
Well, they don't like him for taking Travis Hunter.
Yeah, but doesn't he have a weird relationship from college?
He does. Joe's right. Travis Hunter's part of it, but no, there was some bad blood there. That's why he doesn't come around Tallahassee, and it was before Travis Hunter. Travis Hunter just made it worse.
That'll be interesting. James Simon, running back.
Here we go.
Justin, that was at On 3 Elite Day or whatever, right?
You still got more of these guys?
When he announced?
Yeah.
Yeah. Really,
James Simon had
great family, man. Absolutely great family. Dad played in the NFL for about 4 or 5 years. His older brother is a freshman wide receiver at La Tech. Mom's a wonderful person. They play at Shreveport Calvary Baptist, which is kind of like what Evangel used to be. Yeah. Actually, the quarterback at Evangel, Peyton Houston, Texas offer 2027, was actually the quarterback at Calvary Baptist, but he was a backup because they had a returning senior at quarterback, and they thought, well, Peyton Houston should be the starter now, and the coach said, no, we've got a returning senior at quarterback, so Peyton Houston went to Evangel.
I got to find it, but right after he committed, he said something. It's like, I know there have been like great backs, Earl Campbell, Ricky Williams, Cedric Benson, Bijan Robinson, but y'all haven't seen anything like me. I'm like, hey, man, I appreciate the confidence.
I think I was at this game.
He has the Ashton Genty stance.
Yeah.
The stand there and look menacing.
It's funny. His dad was kind of a consultant / assistant coach. It's private school, so it's very informal. And, one of the coaches had told me, most dads, when they get on to their kid, the kid kind of goes into a shell, or the kid kind of cowers a little bit. But whenever John would get on to James, his game would amp up. And I actually saw it firsthand. The first quarter, he wasn't really running that well. And then I see them kind of talking off to the side. The next 3 carries, he housed 2 of them. And I thought, man, so his dad knows exactly what buttons to push on this kid. Big Tashard Choice fan, big fan of Sark. I remember he told me Texas was going to beat Michigan like 42-0. And here's the thing, too, I thought was interesting. Everybody thought that he was kind of a de facto running back. LSU still wanted him up until signing day. Notre Dame still wanted him up until National Signing Day. So he was definitely coveted more than just Texas.
How many did he miss some games this year?
I don't believe so.
I think so.
Max Preps is missing. Max Preps did not have him with like that high a volume.
Yeah, they don't update their games. Some coaches go in and log all the stats and games, but a lot of times they just don't do it.
Whoop, I like that one.
Because I like this film. I looked at his Max Prep stats and I saw that he was like south of 1,000 yards, and I was like, nah. But I don't
actually the game I went and covered, he didn't play past the second quarter.
Oh, that could be a factor too, obviously.
I mean, they're a really good team. Their left tackle is a big 4-star that just flipped from LSU to Ole Miss, Devin Harper. He was a Texas offer. Their quarterback.
I like him for really all the run schemes. He's kind of the big back with quick feet kind of guy. I know he's like 5'11", right? I just know he's not real tall, but he's real thick. I like this kind of back.
So do I.
I don't know about the better than Bijan and Cedric part so much, but
the reason why he mentioned Bijan is because when his dad was a coach at Arizona State, that was Bijan's first offer. And they had a relationship. And actually, James met Bijan his sophomore year in high school in the locker room. James was like 12 years old.
Can you imagine if Bijan was on this team this year?
Yes.
Unreal.
I can.
That'd be crazy.
Oh, this is cool. So I think Texas has done this before. Homer, do you have a Mac? Like, could you pull up a text message on your screen with ease?
No, I have a Mac next to me, but this is all Windows.
Is it the picture of him and Bijan?
No.
Can you email me?
Texas did the billboard thing again.
Oh, really?
Nice.
That's cool. I like James Simon, man. There's the Ashton Genty stance.
Good kid, good get.
Yeah. I've never worried about running back with the short choice anyway. If I'm being honest, like, he gets his guys. He does a great job evaluating.
Even this year.
Yeah.
You know, I was never that worried. I mean, I think people are underrating what Texas doesn't have in CJ Baxter, but I still wasn't worried the run game was going to have a big drop off.
What would be a good James Simon comp to the running backs Texas has had or currently have?
Hodges Mitchell.
No, that guy was so little. Hodges?
That's tough.
Vondrell McGee.
Oh,
Oh my God. Yeah.
Vondrell McGee.
I mean,
Vondrell was smaller than
was.
Hodges.
No, Hodges was a little guy. He was like a scat back.
He was a soccer player essentially, but Vondrell was small too. Vondrell was just thicker.
Yeah.
Vondrell might have been 5'9", 5'10", maybe.
Yeah.
what about Wisner?
He does like a big riser.
No,
I love
Wisner.
James, but he is not.
Quick.
Wisner is cut from a different cloth.
I mean, physically,
I feel like Wisner is Trey Newton 2.0.
Oh,
Minus the Ndamukong Suh inflicted concussion.
Here is the
Nice.
that's
billboard.
French.
Yeah, French in Jacksonville. I like that we do that. That's a cool touch.
I do too.
Yeah, I enjoy that.
Cedric Benson comp.
Did Oklahoma flip who did they flip?
The Oklahoma State quarterback commit.
Yeah, but who is that? Because
We don't know.
yeah.
Remember, he was almost going to Tulsa.
Yeah, good luck.
I mean, let me check.
Jet
see if
New.
our guy-
it's a
Steve.
Utah guy. It's a Utah guy. Jet New. Jet.
Man, OU's in an interesting spot, man.
Yeah. Very.
When they rushed the field after beating a 7th ranked team, I said, "What is going on? For OU to rush in that situation is like, woof, man."
So the OU quarterback commit had a Washington State offer. So there you go.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
It's kind of like a Texas Tech offer.
Well, it's the new OC was
There you go.
already knew about
Is
it.
OU going to be able to take the quarterback from Washington State with them?
Drew.
I think that's a $800,000 question.
I think they're hoping they can get him at a discount because it's Arbuckle.
We're here, Drew. You and I are here.
like, do you want to? You can't. It's one or the other. I feel like, or unless AT&T wants to drop some coin, like, do you want to continue the Jackson Arnold thing, or do you want
how about they drop some coin on fiber optics in the Cotton Bowl? So the AT&T Cotton Bowl, so AT&T actually works. AT&T Cotton Bowl. That's the most frustrating thing in the world. Hey, we're sitting here covering the biggest game of the year in college football, or for this weekend. Nobody knows.
Yeah, hope we can get a signal.
Brought to you by AT&T.
Jonathan Cunningham, Fort Worth Crowley, right?
Yeah,
North Crowley.
North
Crowley.
Hey, Coach, well, how did this team go from like pretty good 6A that would make the playoffs to now like a state power?
They got quite a bit of move-ins. Honestly, if be honest, that city, that little town has grown, right? They had this Crowley, they got the second high school. But a lot of people starting to branch out, move towards Fort Worth, move out to this subdivision. And so you have a lot of talent just coming in waves, even at the middle school level. So, I mean, yeah, I love Jonathan. I love him. I love his just mental makeup. He's just an absolute dog, if you, so to speak. He's going to be the first one to get off the bus talking. You're going to hear him before you see him.
This clip right here, that's what he's going to be doing at Texas.
Yeah.
Playing Sam.
One of y'all comped him to Mo Blackwell, right?
Blackwell.
I was gonna say y'all comped him to Mo.
He can probably carry more weight than Mo, though.
Mo was also more insane.
Mo was skinny, and Mo filled out a little bit.
His brother was about the same way. I know I saw him had a tryout for the Cowboys. He turned out to be a pretty big linebacker / hybrid safety. So I feel like he'll have the same kind of build as his brother. Maybe get to 230. You just won't be able to tell because he has such a slight frame.
Where did his brother play?
Prairie View, actually. He played somewhere else and he transferred to Prairie View.
Okay. Man, if you make it out of Prairie View, you've done something.
Yeah.
I remember I used to have to write little segments for Dave Campbell's Texas Football on some of like the D2 schools or the HBCU schools or the smaller schools in Texas for their yearly magazine or whatnot. And I remember trying to get Prairie View coaches on the phone. And buddy, that was not easy. But I think a year or so after that, they became more competitive.
But yeah.
I'm trying to I used to follow all the accounts of the Big 12, and now I follow a handful of accounts. I got to figure out who's all signed everywhere. You got to see.
Do you, though?
Yeah, good point.
Yeah, I mean, whenever we hop off, I'm going to have to survey the landscape. But
you know what's great about the new format of the transfer portal is that for years it felt like Texas would get a couple of really highly touted wide receivers, and then all the wide receivers in state that didn't go to Texas would turn out to be NFL players.
Yep.
Nowadays, that's fine. You just go poach them.
Yeah.
Matthew Golden is a prime example.
Yeah.
Homer says,
You can see Matthew Golden as a junior that he should have been a take.
Yeah.
North Crowley has an enormous amount of move-ins and showing no sign of slowing directly between Aledo and all the Dallas schools. They're going to keep being good.
Are they still in the playoffs, Charlie?
Oh, they are, yeah.
Who are they?
Duncanville next round for the semifinals before they go to state, so that'll be a good one.
Well, they're not going to state then.
I wouldn't say that. I would not so fast. I saw him play a couple times in person.
Eric.
I don't know. That's going to be a good game. North Crowley has the edge in the trenches.
Over Duncanville?
Yeah.
What's that?
Turntime KJ Ford matchup is going to be awesome to see.
Oh,
that will be cool.
Okay.
Yes, I agree with that.
I would say then during the spring game, when Turntime came, there were 3 other linemen that had just moved to North Crowley. They all looked the same, big guys. They all came to Texas to visit. And I was like, man, where did you get these guys from, right? And so, yeah.
And remember, we met Turntime's little brother who was going to a different school. Remember? He's an 8th grader that was a wide receiver. Yep. And he told us he's probably going to be going to North Crowley.
Yeah, exactly.
They have a quarterback, though?
They do.
Yeah.
Really small guy, athletic guy. He's committed to UNT. He was committed to TCU for a long time, but
he's a playmaker, man.
he is.
That's fun. Okay, I'll watch it. Maybe we'll see.
I think one of the receivers, I think, is probably going to break the record for most touchdowns. I think he's at 31 or 32 on the season.
Wow.
Quentin Gibson, he's a little guy, but he just committed to Colorado. But yeah.
Hey, it's funny. Landon had hit me up earlier in the year about Quentin Gibson. He's like, man, why aren't people offering this guy? What's going on? Because, he like burst on the scene this year. I'm like, guy, he's like 5'7", 140 pounds.
Yeah.
And Landon's like, well, doesn't that translate? And I go, that's tough to read. That's tough to say. But a school like Colorado, they'll try it.
Solid shoulder.
Charlie, also, like, don't they have a real nice stadium in Crowley ISD, right?
They do, yeah. It's a shared stadium between the two, but it's maybe 3 or 4 years old. It's really, really nice. Really nice.
How do y'all watch these playoff games? They go to them.
Do that. What's it called? Texan Live. You can get it. It's like if you really, really are a junkie, it's worth a subscription. And then I think, obviously with state finals, those are all on whatever it is, Sports West, FanDuel now, right?
Well, they've started streaming on YouTube too. I watched Denton Ryan Alito on YouTube. So there's been also too some of the big games, some of the big matchups they've started streaming directly onto YouTube, which is pretty cool. It was pretty unique. All right, guys, we're down to one final recruit that has turned in their letter.
Finally.
And it is Caleb Chester.
Oh, yeah.
This is the first huddle with music. Yes.
Dude, huddle music. So exhausting, dude.
I don't think college coaches like that.
No.
This is the first Fort Bend Marshall kid that Texas has signed since when?
Deshaun Elliott?
He was from Rockwell.
Oh, that's right. Who am I thinking of? There's somebody. I don't know.
We had this conversation before.
Drew might know if he's still watching.
And we couldn't remember anybody.
I swear they're Fort Bend Hightower?
No. Fort Bend Marshall.
Yeah,
we're not talking about Braylon Addison.
Okay. I don't know.
And Ian, you think Caleb is more of a cover 3 corner?
Yeah, probably. Let me watch a few more.
And this is the same, for reference, this is the same school that they make state finals. They had Devin Achain. They had
Speed.
They had he went to a different one. What's the name of that quarterback that went to Arkansas and then Texas State?
Is it Hornsby? Malik Hornsby?
Yeah, Malik Hornsby was there.
He was Fort Bend Marshall, right? He was actually Austin High, and then Fort Bend Marshall.
Houston, Austin. There's only one Austin High.
You're right. I learned. I didn't even know there was an Austin High until we met Malik Hornsby. He actually called me. I was in doing the media stuff for Texas when Hornsby called me and told me he was transferring because Texas was talking about an offer. He was transferring to Marshall. It was him and Devon Achain and somebody else, and they went to state that year. I mean, those dudes. I think they probably won some gold in track too.
Every year in track.
Austin High School in Houston, Texas, is like in the 3rd ward. Austin High School in Austin, Texas, is not like the 3rd ward.
Terrytown, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm glad we got that covered.
Yep.
I think cover 3 corner. Yeah, I know he's in press a lot here, but I don't know.
They're always in press. Yeah.
I don't know about when he's going up against speed.
Isn't there a huge discrepancy in where we have Chester ranked on 3 versus other spots? I can't remember. Let me look.
I think he's across the board.
He's not super highly ranked, but he's 6'2", runs fast, and plays a lot of press for his high school.
They're probably going to grab Isaiah Williams too, his teammate, 2026 safety. He really likes Texas. I think it would be a case of them waving him in.
Cool. All right, so that's all the kids that we have that have sent in their letters so far. The big ones that we're waiting on, right, is Sharma at 4:30. He's over on the West Coast.
Yeah.
But it'll be 4:30 Central. We're waiting on Zealous Hicks. Is he still 1 p.m. Central? That's what it says on our moderator thread. So we have 1 p.m. there. So those are the guys to kind of watch. And then let's see. Are there any other big guys we don't have in yet?
That's it.
Yeah.
10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. We're at 22, and I might be off. So we have almost everybody. So we just need Sharma and Zealous.
There was 23 starting today. Terry got it to 24. So, yeah, 22 out of 24.
Okay. So we're waiting on Sharma, and we're waiting on Hicks. That'll be interesting. And you guys know the number one spot. We're doing a silly season sale. Fun to say. Sprint to National Signing Day today, but also it's going to continue through Friday. The coaching carousel, always fun. Not as crazy this year as it's been in the past, though. And then transfer portal moves. So sign up $1 for 7 days. You can be at the headquarters, Command Central over at InsideTexas.com. All of our incredible recruiting arm will be handling you there. Justin Wells, Coach Dub, Eric Naleen will be able to hook you up. And you guys will stay updated. We'll also be back tonight for the Wednesday Night Live, but it will be abbreviated since we've done quite a live today. And it'll basically just be there to talk with you guys, but also see, what happened with Zealous, what happened with Josiah. So tune back in tonight, guys, but it won't be our usual hour of content because we did about 3 hours so far. But we really appreciate all you guys. It's been a fun signing day, fairly stress-free. I feel like the only one we lost there was Kellen Wiley. That was a little bit of a bummer. And then, of course, we need to see what happens. Fasusi, even though we feel like it's OU, unless something weird changed. And then Justice Terry on Friday, which we feel is Georgia lean right now. So we'll have to see. But until then, man, thank you guys for hanging out with me today. This was a long stream, and you guys did awesome. Really, really impressed with what we did today, guys. All right, chat, thank you guys. And then we'll see you guys this evening. Hook 'em.